At 8-16, the Warbirds find themselves mired in the bottom of the league standings. They've been frustrated by a lack of offensive production as the heart of their batting lineup has consistently come up short. The beacon of hope is Jim Dodos, at or near the top of the league in every offensive category, but Jim quite simply cannot do it all himself. The Sandvipers came out of the gate red hot, going 9-3 through their first 12 games, but they were stunned by the Legends in a series sweep. Things didn't get better for the reigning champions in the following weeks, as they dropped 5 of their next 6. They currently sit at 12-12 coming into tonight and aim to get back on track. Good evening and welcome to Hideaway Field here in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. You are watching Premier League Wiffle. Tonight's 3-game series set to get underway just minutes from now. The Warbirds are the away team wearing red, the Sandvipers, a home team wearing black and green. Thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Kelly, joined tonight in the booth by my good friend and color analyst, Brad Ogden. Brad, the Warbirds seem in all sorts of disarray as of late. What do they need to do to hit the reset button and get this team back on track?
I think it's just literally trusting their lineup. They were a good team. They were a playoff team. They had a little bit of strut. I think we talked about that in the first couple of series, and they just need to find that. And as we saw last night, it just takes one game to get everybody back on track. Jim ain't going to carry the team forever. Maccabee's here. Look for Buck Burner to have a big game tonight.
Yeah, with the exception of Jim Dodos, this team has been lacking in offensive production throughout the lineup. Steep drop-offs. Jim Dodos in second place, I believe, in batting, or first place in batting average in the league. The next closest batter in his lineup, James Perez, hitting just 205, a very steep drop-off there. The heart of that order, Burner, Patricus, Merciel, they hit 275 average together, the three of them at the end of last season. They're hitting 186 now. A little bit of the yips, a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. What do those guys need to do to pick it up?
Well, they're not striking out anymore. They're putting balls in play. Maybe they're not a powerful team. They didn't have a lot of power number-wise and historically, so the singles aren't falling in. That extra fielder may be hurting this team the most because outside of Maccabee and Dodos, they don't have a real power threat until Buck gets his back on track.
Steep drop-offs there, as we spoke about, but they do have Jim Dodos, that powerhouse at the top of their lineup, and prolific Southern California wiffle baller Peter Maccabee is here tonight as we take a look at that batting order. Buck Burner, the second baseman, will be leading off, followed by Jim Dodos, who gets the call on the bump tonight. Peter Maccabee, who we just spoke about, is the DH and will bat third. Sean Merciel in the 4-hole will play shortstop. James Perez, featured in that graphic, bats fifth and plays right field. Matt Petricus, the third baseman, bats sixth. Got some substitutes there. Tyler Walensky will get some time in the outfield, as well as Brian Pooter, Chris Warfield, Logan Christie, and Dan Pickering, rounding out that Warbirds bench. The Sandvipers, they're the home team. They will take the field first tonight. You see Tom Gannon warming up on the mound there. It's really no surprise that ace Tom Gannon will get the ball here in game number 1. Tom has been the workhorse for this squad, 50 innings pitched as we hit the halfway mark tonight, Brad.
Yeah, he's the most dominant pitcher on their team. Possibly the best stuff in the league. The numbers don't always translate, but he has more pitches than I got fingers, and he can't call them all. When he is on, he is the hardest pitcher to hit in this league, and the Warbirds have a tall mountain to climb if Tom Gannon is on early.
Of course, we can't overlook the extended absence of Adam Tannick. Of course, Adam was hit with a 2-game suspension back in Week 7, chose to capitalize on that forced layoff to squeeze in a much-needed vacation. He took ace Tom Gannon on that trip with him, but Tom is back here in Las Vegas. And, Brad, I'm not sure anyone actually knows where Adam Tannick is right now. We receive some messages from him from time to time. Cryptic videos like this one you're looking at right now. I don't know if he's somewhere in the South Pacific. Trying to guess by the layout. If anybody in the chat recognizes this infinity pool somewhere on the other side of the world, let us know where you think Adam Tannick might be right now. But he's certainly not here at Hideaway Field. But his team, the Sandvipers, they're in the field. They're ready to go first. Tom Gannon is on the hill. Buck Burner is ready to lead off for the Warbirds. Game number 1, Warbirds, Sandvipers straight ahead. It's blustery. We should talk a little bit about the conditions.
Yeah, it's, I would say 20 miles an hour, blowing straight in from left. It's going to be a hard night. You're going to see probably some different defensive alignments tonight. I don't think you're going to see a lot of people in left field tonight. It's going to be blown to right. So
if it's going to affect your wiffle ball point betting at all, the wind is blowing from left to right field. Lefties are going to have the advantage. Bogburner leads off. Tom Gannon on the hill. Game 1 is underway. First pitch inside. Good eye from Burner, and it's 1-1. Gannon goes with that finger change. Buck spoils it. Puts it in the backstop. 1-2. Down in to the rug, the carpet, the fuzzy brown mat. Certainly not dirt. 2-2. Right side flared. The wind had a little bit of that, but Mark Tavano ranges over from the second base position, cradles it in for out number 1.
Yeah, solid play by Tavano. Rookie, definitely establishing himself as one of the top rookies in the league, and a solid piece for the Sandvipers.
Lefty Jim Dodos, leading the lead in batting average, steps into the box. Watch ball 1 low. Batters do start with 1 strike against them, so it's 1-1 to Dodos. Dodos swings underneath that one, falls behind 1-2.
Challenged him there with a little upper pipe.
(12-6) misses high, evens the count.
What a great pitch.
Yeah, one of the best drop balls in the league from Gannon. Slider, fouled into the turf, stays 2-2.
And you'll see the batters from time to time looking up and over the right-handed batter's box, looking for that speed, want to see how fast that pitch was.
Hit left side. Wind is brushing it back into the field. I think on a normal day, Brad, that one's headed for the container. The wind blew it back into the field. Michael Dean and Justin Hicks converging in left field, not able to bring that one in.
Yeah, so they talked about that, playing no outfielder in left field before the game, because a ball hit like that is going to be caught. They'll be able to get to it. Not necessarily caught, but they'll be able to get to it.
Yep, 4 infielders set. And you get a second punch up that GoPro cam. You can see the Sandvipers have 4 men on the infield. And Maccabee's going to hit it to Michael Dean. He'll give it to Mark Tavano. Into the center panel for the double play. The Sandvipers get out of the inning unscathed.
Yeah, that's a bold strategy there, going with the 4 infielders, but it pays off on conditions like this. Wind blowing straight in from left. Not many balls going to go over the infield on the left side and stay in play. They'll all go out. They're all going to be in play.
And, Brad, as you alluded to, that 4-man infield, we sometimes see it. It is rare, but with this wind, it seems like an optimal configuration for the Sandvipers, as anything hit out to left field is probably going to blow right back in. As we look down to the field, we see Jim Dodos is going to take the mound for the Warbirds tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the lineup for the home team Sandvipers. There it is. Justin Hicks, the shortstop, will lead off. Tom Gannon, the pitcher, bats second. Mark Tavano at second base, followed by Kenny McDowell, the left fielder, hitting fourth. Michael Dean bats fifth and plays third. Dustin Flentai getting his first start as a Sandviper will bat sixth and play right field. Substitutes include Glenn Meadows and Jamison Steed.
Yeah, half rookies in that lineup. Mm-hmm. He added 6 in the draft, and 3 of them are in the lineup tonight, and another 2 are on the bench. So, he's going all in.
Sean Merciel threw one into the stopwatch, and he looked right at me. It's okay, Sean.
He didn't hit it with a bat.
Yeah. A lot of indoor equipment outdoors here at Hideaway Field. Jim Dodos, deliberate worker on the mound. He'll certainly take his time in warm-ups and during the inning. Wants to squeeze every moment he can into this warm-up routine. 7 warm-up balls thrown. 8 warm-up balls thrown. Jim once actually said, "I'll throw as many as you'll let me until you stop."
Oh, exactly. I think that's most starting pitchers. Very few of them, Tom Gannon probably being the exception. Tom usually takes 1 or 2 throws, then he's like, okay, I'm done, I'm ready, let's go.
Yeah, he's ready to go. So we remain scoreless. Move to the bottom of the first here. Sandvipers First turn at bat, Justin Hicks will lead off. Jim Dodos will confer with his infield before getting started. Don't forget to get your wiffle points in. Those bets are still open as we remain scoreless here in game number 1.
Looks like you're getting about 2.5 to 1 on your money if you take the Warbirds. Even money today.
First pitch, 55 on the nose, center pan.
Well, 10 the hard way.
Hicks going to look at one. Sped up at 63. Good eye there. As a reminder here in the PLW, called strikes have to be 55 miles per hour or less.
Last season, he swings at that 100% of the time. Little season under his belt.
Dodos a little waste pitch there to the outside, evens the count 2-2. Same area, fills the count. See some frustration from Dodos as he expected that ball to break. And he's just having trouble finding the handle there. 3 straight pitches to the outside that did not break back in. He's walked Justin Hicks.
Yeah, not a good start for him. He wants to try and eat some innings here. Warbirds pitching is a little bit shallower than some out here and facing this lineup.
So 1 on, nobody out. Tom Gannon, he'll watch one in there. 10 the hard way, as you like to say.
Absolutely.
Gannon will lay off that one, and it misses high. 1-2. Inside, he avoids it. Evens the count 2-2. Jim has been missing that pitch thus far. Right down the middle.
10 the hard way.
55 miles per hour gets Gannon looking. That ball appeared to break back inside at the last moment. Cross Gannon up. Bring up Mark Tavano. 1 on, 1 out. First pitch is low for ball 1.
Mark battling for Rookie of the Year honors definitely got to be in consideration. Having a great early season.
Jim Dodos missing the outside. 2-1. Right in there, but hot. 58 miles per hour. Dodos feeling the pressure. He knows if this next pitch is a ball, his outing is done before it's even started. And it will be ball 4. 2 walks in at the top of the first. As per PLW rules, Dodos is out of there.
Looks like they're going to go to Petricus, excuse me.
And Kirby Bucket's going to make an appearance. Kirby Bucket, of course, bringing the warm-up balls out to a new pitcher. Different people have to control Kirby from night to night. Some third base umpires are more proficient than others at controlling Kirby.
Yes, that's a good way to put that. Some people have no clue on how to drive it.
You know, Kirby has big plans for this weekend. Word is that Kirby's going to have a night out on the town in Las Vegas, and we'll see if we can't get some of our recording devices out there to document some of his adventures.
Oh, I'm sure. One night on the town changes your life.
Matt Petricus will come in relief of Jim Dodos. Walked out here in the top of the first inning. Petricus really the workhorse for this team. 50 innings pitched, 4 wins, 2 losses, ERA 2.16. His runs versus earned runs column has a 6-run disparity. He often finds himself in situations like this, where he's inheriting the base runners from other pitchers. Petricus will confer with his infield before taking over, and he'll face Kenny McDowell with 2 on and 1 out. First pitch, slider that doesn't slide. It's McDowell in the back for ball 1. Pipe, but 57. Petricus happy with that pitch, unhappy with Pocket Radar's reading.
Thought you were going to have a talk with Pocket Radar after last week.
Misses just high, 54. Let's not forget these windy conditions can wreak havoc on a pitcher. 3-1. Takes 55. Wow. That's a pitch Petrikis really needed to hit, and he does. Fills the count. McDowell will flail at that one outside and strike out for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Michael Dean batting in the fifth spot. 2 on, 2 outs.
Not through this lineup yet. Michael Dean has been tearing the cover off the ball lately, and he's definitely a formidable hitter here. Hit quite a few home runs, even in this wind, in batting practice.
Sort of a submarine slider from Petrikis, misses outside for ball 1. Dean's gonna poke that one right field, but it floats foul. A lot of wind from left to right.
Yeah,
pushes
there's no
that one into
chance.
foul territory.
No chance that stays fair. Not with that kind of spin. You'd almost have to start it at the little batty bakery to keep it fair.
Yeah, I saw guys in batting practice hitting it dead over second base, ends up near the 91 marker in right field. The wind obviously plays a huge impact on a tiny plastic ball that weighs almost nothing. 2-2 pitch to Dean is fouled off. Everybody watching on TikTok, thanks for being here. I want to direct your attention to the link on the field. Come on over to Twitch, see our full production there. Petrikis, 55 on the nose, and he's walking off the rubber to the dugout as he delivers it. Gets his team out of a jam.
Oh, wow. And it came right back over the middle of the plate. Petrikis, different kind of motion than most people see. You saw a little from Justin Fuente last night, a little three-quarter sidearm underhand. Different look than most of these guys see all season.
As we move to the top of the second inning, the top of the second is brought to you by Leilani Acuna, the official realtor of PLW. Whether you're buying or selling a home, you can trust Leilani, as do the players and family of PLW. You can connect with Leilani on Instagram at Leilani Acuna, right there on your screen. Gannon will take the mound. We remain a scoreless tie here in the top of the second. Sean Merciel will step into the box for the Warbirds.
Sean really needs to find his early season form from season 3.
Swing and a miss. Merciel will fall behind 0-2.
I like the aggressiveness. He's been taking a lot of pitches lately and getting down 0-2 without being aggressive and not even getting at least one swing at the ball.
Again, misses way outside, 1-2. What would you say, about 25-mile-an-hour gusts? Maybe higher?
Maybe higher. It's definitely up there.
12-6. This one's popped up. Hicks going to have trouble with it. That ball came all the way back into foul territory, just barely in front of that cheap line.
Yeah, that was smart, but the Vipers all just laid off. The minute they saw they couldn't get to it, don't even try and play it. It's going to get foul. It doesn't matter.
It almost hit that line, would have been a fair ball. Merciel will swing and miss at an outside pitch that would have tinked the bar anyway, and he'll strike out for out number 1.
There's another rookie. See if he can get back on track. He was really hot at the beginning of the season.
And James Perez hitting .205. Batting 5th here. Late swing on that finger change from Gannon. He'll fall behind 0-2. (12-6). Got a piece of it, fouled it back into the strike zone. .59 is hot for ball number 1.
102 is what it read. That can't be right.
Yeah, I saw 55 on the screen before the bat wave registered 102. Perez tries to go up and after that one, swings underneath it and strikes out for out number 2.
Yeah, rookie mistakes. Tom's going to eat these rookies up pretty good. Matty's seen him plenty, though. See if he can dial in.
Matt Petrikis steps in. Nobody on, 2 outs. Yeah, Gannon with an 0-2 count is deadly. A large arsenal of pitches that he can choose from. 12-6 misses low. Petricus spits on it. Finger ball in there at 46. Matty will golf it back to Gannon. Just misses the outside. Good eye by Petricus. The 3-2 pitch. Tink top bar, and Petricus swung and missed. Tom Gannon struck out the side.
Yeah, Tom Gannon, if he gets rolling, he's a tough guy to face in these conditions. It's not helping you because you're trying to not hit the ball in the air to left. It's just not going to go anywhere, and he's going to feed on that, keep everything up in the zone, make everybody, and he's able to hit top pipe, which is brutal for some of these guys.
I want to thank our 315 viewers joining us live on Twitch. Of course, we broadcast live here every night, Monday through Friday, 6 o'clock Pacific time. I can't even say Pacific Daylight Time anymore. I think it's just Pacific time.
Yeah, I think we changed all that. The senators are making big money to decide on our daylight savings or non-daylight savings.
Yeah, they changed it a few times in the past. We'll see if it sticks this time. I know that as the summer wears on, the light that comes into Hideaway Field is blaring down on that first base side. It's only going to get worse as we get further into this season. You can see Dan Pickering out there on second base right now, squinting as that late setting sun here in Las Vegas is shining right into his eyes. That'll hopefully be gone for him in about half an hour.
Yeah.
Petricus returns to the mound. And Dustin Flenty will get his first at-bat of the game.
Yeah, so another rookie making an appearance. He's got a couple of at-bats this season, but this is his first start, I believe, in PLW.
Yeah, first time he has slotted in as a starter into the lineup. The wind is going to take that one. My goodness. Oh, yeah. Okay. That one started out towards short, bounced almost on first base. Merciel went end over end trying to track it down.
Yeah. So I think it landed short. It landed short, and it would have spun foul. It would have been a foul ball had nobody touched it.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked about this in the pregame. You might want to put your best fielders on the right side and leave the third base line for whoever can stand there and hold down a position.
Yeah, anything up into the air tonight. I mean, we've got 20-mile-an-hour gusts down on the field. You get up even 20 feet up, and that wind is going to be all that much stronger. We have 15 feet retaining walls around Hideaway Field. It gets above those walls. Wiffle ball's bound to do anything. Hicks is going to foul that one off. 1-2. Ooh, that one gets away from him. 2-2. Swing and a miss from Hicks, and he will strike out. Excuse me, from Flenty.
No, that was Fuente got on base with the single.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, the single, and that's a strikeout by Hicks, who swung at least after that ball hit the pan. There's kind of a thank you swing. That ball was already past him when he swung. I just don't think he saw it out of his hand.
Fooled there. First out. Tom Gannon looks at ball one. Down in the dirt, 2-1. Gannon with that wide open stance likes to step in as the ball comes to the strike zone. He'll watch that one in. It's 2-2.
Yeah, he's our version of Cal Ripken. He literally changes his stance, I think, every game.
It's the wind really picking up now. Drop ball. Tom goes up and fouls it back into the broadcast booth. Stays 2-2. Gannon's going to hit that right at Merciel. Maccabee over. Gets the force out at second. We didn't get to see it from the center field angle, but that throw from second base did miss the center panel. So Tom Gannon is aboard on a fielder's choice. Flenty is retired on the force out at second base.
I'd like to see Merciel take that himself. Easier throw for him.
Into left field, Dodos ranging back, but the wind is going to sort of knock that one down from Tavano. Dodos will bring it in for out number 3. And the Warbirds escape once again as we move to the bottom of the second. Excuse me, the top of the third.
Yeah, it's crazy that the wind is playing as hard as it is. I mean, that ball was absolutely hammered by Tavano, and it didn't. I think he took one step, and he was right there. And he's not playing him. He's probably playing him at 65 feet.
Yeah. You can see the frustration, even on experienced wiffle ball players, the frustration that the weather can cause, but even more so on the rookies who have been playing baseball their entire lives and have never seen the effect of wind on the ball like you see in wiffle.
Yeah, we had the wind blowing out a little bit last night. Tonight it's blowing in. Hopefully tomorrow there's no wind, but you never can tell.
As we get a beautiful look over the tall pine tree in left center. A good idea for how much wind is blowing. Buck Burner steps in. Looks at ball 1. "12-6", misses low. Good eye from Burner, 2-1. Spoils that one. 2-2.
Yeah, look for Tom to be throwing a lot of strikes. Doesn't want to walk out here.
Goes inside and high. Gets Burner to swing underneath it for the first strikeout. Tom has struck out 4 in a row.
So
Jim Dodos, excuse me.
Yeah, I think they're going to employ on the lefties. With the wind blowing so hard in, and Tom Gannon, a lefty on lefty. Every left-handed hitter that the Warbirds have thrown up, they've gone with the 4 infielders.
Mm-hmm. As you can see after this pitch, we'll take a look at that GoPro camera that we have mounted on the backstop, and you can see 4 infielders for the Vipers.
The thought is even if he hits it over their head, it's just going to be a single.
Yeah. Jim is going to foul that one down into home plate. It'll stay foul. Dustin Flentai is going to take the sunglasses off as he returns to the first base position. Dodos, comebacker, off Gannon's hands. He's still got plenty of time. Does a little 360, delivers a 79-mile-per-hour fastball to the backstop for out number 2.
And they're going to stick with that 4-man, so Mock could be another lefty. Anything he hits opposite field, so if he hits it to the left, it's just going to kind of hang, and they proved it the last inning that Hicks or Dean can get there. It just matters if they can catch it.
Staying with that 4 infielder set. Kenny McDowell, the lone outfielder, out at the 102 marker in right center for Peter Mockabee. Mockabee will watch the first pitch in at 54 and falls behind 0-2. Time called. Sorry, fair foul pylon did not survive the last gust of wind in Hideaway Field. It's been reset by lead umpire, crew chief Kyle Lohman. Down into the dirt, 1 and 2 to Mockabee. Holds, 2-2.
These guys are very familiar with each other, play a lot of tournaments together on the California circuit.
12-6, misses high and inside. Full count. Mockabee swings and misses, and Gannon with his 5th strikeout of the game. It's looking pretty dialed in, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, I compare him to the old Tom Glavine adage when I was a little younger. If Tom Glavine could get through the first inning, he was going to go the complete game. Tom Gannon is kind of the same guy. If he gets rocking and rolling and throwing strikes early with more than one pitch, he's going to carve up every lineup in this league. It doesn't matter whose lineup it is. Warbirds, Legends, Snappers, it doesn't matter. He's carving that lineup up.
Yeah, Tom Gannon, really one of the first true wiffle ball players that has come into PLW. Played a little bit of baseball in Little League. He'd be the first to admit that he never really got the hang of it. He was never very good at baseball. Started playing wiffle ball at a young age. The New England moved to Las Vegas specifically to help form and play in PLW. So we look out on the container, Brad. We've got a spectator.
We got the one and only Trench cone.
Is that Trench up there?
I believe so.
Look at
I know that silhouette anywhere.
Look at old Trenchy. Taking one in up on the container. If anybody deserves a break, it's Trench. Best seat in the house up on top of that container in left field. Kenny McDowell steps into the box. Matt Petrikis returns to the mound for the Warbirds. McDowell will swing and foul the first one back. Falls behind 0-2.
Nicky, we got to mic him up if we do nothing else all year.
54 and just looking. Kenny McDowell returns to the dugout.
McDowell, party of one. The waiter will seat you now.
One down for the Vipers. Michael Dean steps in. Watches one down into the dirt. I noticed there's 2,000 of you over on TikTok right now. Check out that link written right on the field. It's also in our bio, twitch.tv/Premier Wiffle. Come on over to Twitch. Try out that experience. You're going to get multiple camera angles. You can bet and redeem Wiffle points. Talk in the chat with our ever-growing community. Almost up to 20,000 followers as Dean pops this one up. A lot of people calling it Petrikis. Finally, it's the one who shouts the loudest.
Got a new poll up. How many home runs will be there hit tonight? I'm going to go with one.
Yeah. I think one is probably optimal. A lot of people saying two. There will be, I'm going to go ahead and make the not-so-bold prediction that 0 home runs will happen to left field tonight, unless this weather changes radically. Anything over this wall is going out to right. Dustin Flenty has fallen behind 0-2.
Fouled that one off back into the strike zone, so the catcher drops the first one. The catcher will catch the second one. That will be a strikeout.
Swing and a miss from Flenty, and Petrikis has retired. The side, strikeout, flyout, strikeout. We've got a little bit of a pitcher's duel happening here as we head into the top of the fourth. Tom Gannon looking good. Petrikis following suit.
Yeah, Petrikis he's been perfect so far since he's come in, inherited those 2 base runners, shut him right down, and then he's come right in and just thrown strikes. I guess in these conditions, I would just suggest, hey, throw strikes. If they hit the ball, great. It's going to take 3 hits to get a run tonight.
18,510 followers, Brad. We have exactly 2 days to get to 20,000. PLW Nation, I'm going to call on you. Get out there on your social media channels. Put the Twitch link all over your Facebook, your Twitter, your TikTok, whatever you can. We're trying to get to 20,000 followers in the next 2 days. I think we can do it with your help. Spread the word of Premier League Wiffle. Tom Gannon returns to the mound. Sean Merciel steps in for the Warbirds. Shot right back at Gannon. He bats it down, picks it up, and fires it into the backstop for out number 1.
Actually, I think that's a great at bat for Sean. He put bat on ball, hit the ball hard. Little bad break there, but he needs to see the ball hit the bat to get back into the Merciel All-Star that we were looking for at the beginning of the season.
James Perez will watch the first pitch in at 51. Gannon gets ahead of him. Misses very low. Spiked that one in the turf. And he throws that changeup, gets Perez to wave in front of it. Tom Gannon, 6th strikeout of the game.
Yeah, that the finger in the hole, fast arm speed, slow ball outcome, it's just devastating.
Another comebacker to Gannon. Gannon automatic on that throw. A very quick inning ground out, strikeout, ground out. And Tom Gannon very effective. Up to how many strikeouts does he have? He's going to have 81 strikeouts on the year after those 6.
Wow. We're only halfway through the season too. So this week marks week 9, the halfway point. You can kind of get a judge on what these teams really are. Are the Warbirds really an 8-16 team? I don't think so. But they're going to have to figure it out because, the schedule is what the schedule is, and they have a tougher schedule coming down the road than a lot of teams because they haven't played some of the better teams. But looks like they're back at full strength, and I like it. They're putting the bat on the ball. maybe they can get a couple of breaks here and there, not so right at 'em balls.
As we move into the bottom of the fourth, Justin Hicks, top of the Sandvipers lineup, will lead off. And he'll look at ball one. Swing and a miss from Hicks. 1-2.
Sped him up there, 61. It's like the equivalent of about 93 miles an hour, Major League fastball.
Top pipe 53 will get Hicks looking. Petricus has got his stuff working.
That's the All-American we know. We're used to seeing that.
5 strikeouts for Petricus since he came in relief of Jim Dodos. Gets ahead of Gannon here, working on his 6th. Gannon hitting .355 coming into this series. Petricus goes over the top there, misses high. Don't see him throw from that arm angle very often. Usually a straight side arm dealer, sometimes goes 3/4, rarely right over the top. Gannon is going to dribble this one back to Petricus. Retire him for the second out.
A little pitcher-on-pitcher crime returns the favor.
They'll bring up Mark Tavano with 2 outs, nobody on. The scoreless tie continues here in game number 1. Tavano will swing and miss at that one right down the center. It was a little hot.
Yeah, go Rock. We have tryouts. We'll have tryouts at the end of the season after the playoffs. We'll have an open tryout. You can come register, reach out to the PLW on social media, get you all the information.
Tavano will strike out, and it's 6 for Petricus. That pitcher's duel continues in these windy conditions. It looks like the poll has been won. PLW Nation agrees. 1 home run. That's for the entire series.
Yeah, I think Dodos can hit one to the Garden of Serenity. I don't think he's going to hit it very high. It's going to be one of those line drive missile shots. And Justin Hicks can do the same thing. Tom Gannon can do the same thing. Yeah, Tavano, McDowell, a lot of power on both these teams, especially from the Sandvipers, and the lefties are going to have an advantage. If they just keep it not a high floater that would sail out, they need to hit something on the line. It'll still get out of here.
That's Brad Ogden. I'm Greg Kelly. Thanks for watching Premier League Wiffle. This is game number 1 of a 3-game set between the Sandvipers and the Warbirds. We are scoreless, all knotted up at 0 here in the top of the 5th of game 1. Both pitchers doing well for their side. Buck Burner's going to shoot one into left field, past the outstretched hands of Michael Bean. And Buck with a slump buster. Warbirds are in business. Runner aboard, nobody out. Second hit of the game. Had an error back in the second for the Sandvipers. Other than that, only the second hit of the game. Jim Dodos had a base hit in the top of the first. Then Mockabee grounded into a double play. It's only the second base runner for the Birds. Gannon will miss outside. 2-2. The always dangerous Jim Dodos.
I look for Dodos just to hit one right down that third base line. See if we can get a clean double here.
12-6. It's going to be a double play ball, but Gannon had a tough time bringing it in. Did he get it? I do not think he made it in time. A lot of bobbling there on that comebacker to Gannon. Reduced the amount of time that Hicks had to deliver it to the center panel. It looks like he shorted it anyhow. So Jim Dodos will make it to first on a fielder's choice. Buck Burner retired at second on that play. Peter Mockabee, the other big lefty for the Warbirds, will step in with 1 on, 1 out. So shoot that one right to Tavano. Over to Hicks, force out. He's going to miss the center panel again, so 2 fielder's choices in a row. Mockabee will walk over to first, take Dodos' place. We'll come down to Sean Merciel here. 12-6 is in there, 49 miles per hour. That ball drops off the table.
It's disgusting. It's a great pitch, and he leads with that. So hard to gauge that off the bat, out of his hand.
Heats him up, 56, low and inside. Good slider from Gannon. Strikes out Merciel for his 7th strikeout. Move to the bottom of the 5th. We remain scoreless here at Hideaway Field. 395 viewers watching us live on Twitch, as I mentioned earlier. Trying to get to that 20,000 follower mark. We need 1,500 more people to hit that follow button. If anybody in the chat hasn't done it yet, please do. When you follow our channel, you'll get a notification every time we go live, which is every Monday through Friday. At what time, Brad?
6:05. I think the live stream starts about 10 minutes before that. 5 to 6. We start with TikTok, and we get the page opened up and wired, so you can have some little interactions with the other members of the PLW Nation.
That's right. We'll get that. You'll get that notification at 5:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Give you time to maybe get a bottle of whatever your hot cocoa of choice is, some chips. It's settled into whatever size screen you prefer to watch PLW on. Broadcast starts at 6. First pitch at 6:05. Monday through Friday. Kenny McDowell falls behind 0-2. He's going to shoot that one. Oh, great hands on Merciel. We're gonna check out a replay here. We've got the umpires are not sure whether we've got an out or a safe. We're gonna keep it up on the screen. We'll just keep that instant replay going.
Yeah,
First base umpire is saying that it bounced for sure, which means Kenny McDowell is safe at first base. We'll call that E6.
Yep.
Did a good job keeping that ball in the infield, but short of the throw. Michael Dean, the number 5 batter, falls behind 1-2.
I like the fact that our chat is all aware of the rules.
Yes. We've got a lot of veterans in that PLW chat. You can see there's a current poll up there, out or safe. 20% didn't apparently see that ball bounce before it hit the backstop. For those of you new to PLW, we don't have any force outs at first base. Instead, the backstop is first base. Infielders have 5 seconds to field the ball and throw it in the air to the backstop. As Dean goes back to Petricus, over to Merciel for the force out. And he misses the center panel low for the double play. So another fielder's choice. I think we've had at least 4 in this game so far. Kenny McDowell retired. Michael Dean will take his place on first base.
Better to miss low than miss high. Don't want to throw it away and put that runner in scoring position.
For
Petricus is
sure.
That was disgusting. Hit that off the hands, and Pickering breaks up the middle, and it spun and went the other way.
If Pickering was playing basketball, he just had his ankles broke there by that ball.
Yes.
Flentai with just a lazy bloop, but the wind took care of the rest. Found its way into fair territory and then out of play. And because it's right side, Brad, Michael Dean's going to go to third.
Yeah, he's going to go to third. I don't think we have a tag-up situation here. Dodos' arm is too good in the outfield, wind helping. I mean...
what do we got here? We got a visit.
Looks like he might have hurt himself with that little change of direction.
Yeah, Dan Pickering. I see an ankle brace on that right ankle, so he might have not been in the best of shape coming into this series. And he has labored off the field. He's replaced by manager Chris Warfield in the second base position. Warfield playing very close to first base.
You got the league leader in RBIs, Justin Hicks at the plate. I predicted he would have 90 RBIs this season. Looks like he might still be on that pace.
Hicks is going to right up the middle over the hand of Petricus. Dean will score from third, and we finally have broken the tie. Sandvipers shed first blood, 1-0. It's got runners on first and second. One away for Tom Gannon. Gannon, a threat to go deep from this left side, as the wind is blowing from left to right. Seems to have calmed down momentarily.
Yeah, sun goes down in Vegas. The wind either does the opposite of whatever it was doing at 5. At 7, it'll be calm. If it was no wind at 5, it's going to be blowing at 7.
Yep. Wonder if there's any climatologists, meteorologists in the chat who can tell us what's going on with the physics there with the high pressure, low pressure system, katabatic winds. Explain to us why the wind dies at sunset. As Gannon fouls another one back.
That's a triple word score, katabatic winds. I like it.
2-2 to Gannon. Oh, he wanted that one. Gets just underneath it. Fouls it back, stays 2-2. (12-6) is going to miss high and away. Full count. Gannon will reach up and foul another one back. Comebacker off the hand of Petrikis into center field. Dodos making a good effort to try to bring that one in, but he didn't really have a chance as that ball was looping back down.
That just tells you how serious it take it. The one guy who has been hospitalized from playing wiffle ball just made another all-out effort on a chance to save a base on a tip ball.
Jim only has one gear.
110 all day.
Flied up. It's going to be trouble. Petrikis makes the play. Over his shoulder, looking straight up.
Wow. And Mafu 308, thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime.
Because that hit from Gannon went off the hands of Petrikis. It was a dirty single. That loaded up the bases. So it did not score another run for the Sandvipers. They remain loaded here for Kenny McDowell. He's going to pop that one up. Chris Warfield with a can of corn at second base. And the Vipers will lead the bases loaded, but they did bring one across and break the tie. Ahead 1-0.
Yeah, so what I always preach to my guys, put balls in play. Good things happen when the ball's in play. If you strike out, nothing good can happen. Yes, they got on base with a single, but literally it was ball in play, turfed. Ball in play, turfed. Next guy, base hit. It just took a matter of time before it got it. And it was 3 balls in play in a row that got him to run.
Yeah, and Brad, we were talking earlier today that with the 6 fielders in PLW, the gameplay, the approach has really changed for a lot of these teams. You're not going to get as many bloops out into right field or as many fly balls as we take a look from our sky cam. But on nights like tonight, you really do have to string together some base hits.
Yeah, 100%. I think the pitching might have gotten a little better, a little bit more practice, more comfortable on the mounds.
James Perez foul one off the first baseline. (12-6) misses high. 2-2. If you want to know who bet on who in the chat, just look at the numbers next to their name. As Perez swings and misses. Gannon adds to his strikeout count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts for Gannon. Through 5 1/3. Petrikis will swing and miss. If you got a blue 1 next to your name, you bet on the Birds. You got a magenta 2, you bet on the Sandvipers. 56. Good time for that 56 emote in the chat. In on the hands of Petrikis. He's a little bit early on that finger change, but he spoils it and stays alive. 12-6, top pipe, 52. I heard good eye coming from the bench of the Warbirds.
Yeah, that ended up in the booth. It was such a great pitch.
Yikes. Buck over there telling Petrikis good eye right milliseconds before it tinks top bar.
Buck says you are not throwing that ball again.
Ninth strikeout for Gannon. 55 double nickels, that's 10 for Gannon. Wow. Wow.
Filthy, absolutely filthy.
That is game number 1. The final is 1-0 Sandvipers. An absolute gem, complete game victory for Tom Gannon. I mean, what more can you say about that game than it was all Gannon?
Yeah, it was all Gannon all the time. And the only positive thing for the Warbirds that can come out of that is they put some balls in play. Matty looked really good, and they only have 3 innings left of Tom Gannon.
Yep.
So, you know, it's a 3-game series. You want to win 2. If you can steal 1 here and force that if game, it's still a good week. So you definitely look at the bounce back on this game and see if they can get their offense in gear.
So that'll wrap it up for game number 1, game number 2, and 3 straight ahead. Stick around right after this. Welcome back to PLW. We just saw the conclusion of game number 1 between the Warbirds and the Sandvipers. The Sandvipers victorious 1-0, a complete game shutout for Tom Gannon. Pitched 6 innings in that game. He'll only have 3 remaining. And the Warbirds will look to capitalize off the not-so-deep bullpen of the Sandvipers. In the absence of manager Adam Tannick, they're going to rely heavily on Kenny McDowell, who will take the mound for the Sandvipers here in game number 2. McDowell coming into this series, a record of 2-4, 44 hits he's given up, 34 runs, 19 of them earned. So McDowell doing a lot of relief work, inheriting a lot of base runners, as I have been handed the lineups for game number 2. For the Warbirds, we'll see Buck Burner leading off, Jim Dodos hitting second, Peter Maccabee third, Sean Merciel fourth, James Perez fifth, and Matt Petrikis batting fifth. So an identical lineup to game number 1. It'll be exactly the same for the Sandvipers as well. Justin Hicks leading off, Tom Gannon hitting second, Mark Tavano third, Kenny McDowell fourth, Michael Dean fifth, and Dustin Flentai will hit sixth. I'm Greg Kelly. I'm joined tonight by Brad Ogden, taking a quick hot cocoa break out of the booth as we are getting ready to start game number 2. Kenny McDowell is going to take the hill. Look at McDowell's stats, an ERA of 3.93. Mentioned a moment ago, he has inherited a lot of runners in his very early stint as a pitcher for the Sandvipers. Buck Burner is going to step into the box. And we're ready to start game number 2. Buck is going to smash that one through the 5-6 hole so fast that Gannon can't even get a hand on it, and that one goes off his hand into the container. Buck Burner aboard with a leadoff double. Buck Burner, be the first to tell you, his 194 average coming into this series not where he wants it to be. A good hit in game number 1 to break that slump. He follows it up with one here. Jim Dodos pops one up to short for the first out of the inning. Peter Maccabee, the second half of this 2-headed lefty monster, step into the booth, and he'll watch a 49-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle. Brad, you missed a lead-off double laser beam from Buck Burner. Split the 5-6 hole off the hands of Gannon. Gannon couldn't even stop it from hitting the container. It was hit so hard.
Well, that's 2 hard balls hit by him in 2 consecutive bats.
Maccabee is going to flare this one into left. Michael Dean has to stop and reverse his field, but he does so well and brings it in for out number 2.
Michael Dean, an underrated player in this league. Probably one of the most underrated players in this league.
comebacker. McDowell, great job stabbing that. Fires it back into the strike zone for out number 3. And that lead-off double by Buck Burner will go uncapitalized upon. And we'll move down to the bottom of the first.
That's kind of been the Warbirds' mantra this year. They get guys on base and can't get that big hit. Can't get that second hit they need in an inning. And literally, like a flare on a good night probably falls in. And if Sean hits that ball just a mile per hour harder, it might get past his foot and score a run.
Yeah, he's been squaring the ball up pretty well. He's just been shooting it right back to the pitcher and making some pretty good plays thus far. We look down to the field. Peter Mockabee is going to get the start for the Warbirds here in game number 2. Mockabee coming into this series with an ERA of 4.30, 15 innings pitched, a 1-0 win-loss record. What's Mockabee going to feature, Brad?
So Mockabee is a KG veteran, doesn't speed it up, but he's going to throw big breaking stuff, and he also has pitches where he starts with the sidearm, and it starts low, and it stays low, and these guys aren't going to appreciate that because all the sidearm guys that we face in this league on a regular basis have risers. His ball stays at that low plane the whole way, and if he finds it early and lives on bottom pipe, it could be a long night for the Sandvipers.
Just looks like it's going to go into the dirt, but gravity never takes hold.
Gravity never takes hold, and he's crafty. He's a pitcher. He's actually pitching. He's not just throwing. This guy is an accomplished wiffle ball player, probably one of the top 100 in the country.
Of course, the game always different for the Warbirds when Mockabee is in attendance. Resident of Southern California.
Yes.
Has to drive all the way from the Los Angeles area to Las Vegas to play in PLW. Hit the foam on the top of the strike zone. You can see there in our sky cam shot. That is a ball. He's going to miss high and inside. He's going to fall behind 3-1 to Justin Hicks. They can't afford to have Mock walk out here. It's going to be a cookie. And it's in there 50 miles an hour, dead center.
Yeah, Mockabee doesn't live too much in the 55 to 60. He's in the 50s to 53, and he'll drop down to the 30s like Trench.
Right in there, but it's hot, 57 miles per hour. Justin Hicks knew it. Started walking to first base before it hit the pan.
That was the I'm out or I'm walking to first walk. I don't think he knew it, but
Either way, I'm going to look confident.
Yes, confident is the key.
As we take a look at the line, it's not too late to get your betting points in. There's going to be a spread on this game. The Sandvipers favored by 1.5 runs. And it's evening out that betting, Brad. We've got 126,000 coming in on the Warbirds with that plus 1.5. Sandvipers favored. Getting 94,000 wiffle points so far as I believe the sun has finally gone down behind the mountains here in Las Vegas, and the wind is picking right back up.
Yeah, so I would take the Warbirds plus 1.5. I just don't think there's going to be more than 3 runs scored in this game.
You heard it here. Don't blame me if that doesn't work out. We've got guys in this chat who have started memes because broadcasters have given viewers betting advice that didn't turn out. We should have a disclaimer. As Petrikis picks that one out of the air, runs over to second, and turns it over. Just in case. Look at Petrikis. He caught that in the air, but just in case the umpires didn't see that he caught that in the air, he goes ahead and he gets the force out at second anyhow. But it's just one out as he caught it clean. It's just covering his bases there, no pun intended.
Yeah, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? If you caught it in the air, it's a dead ball after anything after that.
Right field. Nope. Foul down the right side for Tavano.
Huge advantage here for Mockabee. Tavano's never seen him before and doesn't have any history with him, and rookies just aren't going to see the pitches that he throws.
Chat police felon in the chat saying, all right, Booth, got it in on the Warbirds.
Oh, hell, there's going to be a bench Brad.
Inside of Tavano will fill the count. Swing and a miss, and Mockabee pumps his fist as he strikes out Tavano.
Yeah, Pete is definitely one of the more animated characters in the league, and he does it subtly. He wants to beat you. He's not trying to show you up, but he definitely wants to win as much as anybody on this field, if not more.
McDowell steps in, looks at a riser, and lets it go for ball 1. Mockaby will go back to the well.
And there's that pitch we talked about where it just kind of stays low and it never comes up.
1-2 to McDowell. He's going to dribble this one over to Petricus. He'll go over to Burner for the easy out at second base. It'll be the third out of the inning. Remain scoreless through one complete. I want to welcome everybody who's watching us on Twitch, 404 viewers. There's some of you who are watching on TikTok. It looks like somewhere around 2,000 of you watching on a single cell phone shot. It's an okay shot, but trust me, over here on Twitch is much better. You get multiple camera angles to listen to live commentary, see instant replay, talk with all of your friends and brethren in the PLW chat. Twitch.tv/Premier Wiffle. Get on over here. See you when you do. Let us know that you came over from TikTok when you join that chat. I'm Greg Kelly alongside Brad Ogden offering expert commentary. This is game number 2 between the Sandvipers and the Warbirds. Sandvipers took game 1, 1-0, complete game shutout by Tom Gannon.
Yeah, Tom Gannon looked filthy, and Mother Nature might have had as much to do with that score as Tom Gannon's nastiness did. It was a great game to watch. Both Matt Petricus pitched fantastic as well.
James Perez will step in. He'll face Kenny McDowell. And he'll shoot that into center field. The wind's going to bat it down. Dustin Flinty taking his time. Gets underneath it for out number 1.
Great play by Dustin out there. Played the wind, held his ground, let the ball come right back to him. Great play.
Petricus will step in. He'll look at a curveball that misses high. There he is. Tyler No Jumper just came over from TikTok. Cat G32, you're going to make me look up mellifluous.
Some of those 4-syllable double word score, Scrabble words there.
Let's look it up. Mellifluous. Sweet or musical, pleasant to hear. The voice was mellifluous and smooth. Well, thank you for that compliment.
I like it.
I learned a new word today.
Amen. My dad used to do that. A word every day.
Word of the day. Word of the day for Petricus is a walk over to first base. Kenny McDowell's first of this game. Buck Burner will swing and foul that one back. 1-2. That one was right down the middle. Buck fouls it down. Slider. Buck was early, misses, and strikes out for the second out of the inning.
Look for your Warbirds bets to come in right here because this is going to be a big spot. Dodos is seeing he likes this right-handed combination. He's going to hit this hard.
And he does hit it hard, but it's right at the first baseman, Dustin Flinty, as they were once again employing that 4 infielder set, proving to be optimal. He'll flip it over to second base for the easy third out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that would have been a hit in the standard 3-2 configuration, but the lefties are going to hit McDowell. They're going to hit him well. He only has a couple of pitches, and he doesn't really change speeds yet. He's still throwing rookie-level PLW, but he throws strikes, and he's in the zone, and he's got a different angle being so tall. And he's got exceptional defense behind him. So if he pitches to his contact, I think he'll be fine all day.
McDowell, a rookie, exceptional baseball acumen. I believe he was teammates with some major leaguers over at College of Southern Nevada. Definitely has rubbed elbows with some guys that have quite the baseball pedigree, as does he himself. But wiffle ball, a completely different sport. Takes a little bit of time for those baseball guys to understand how to manipulate the holes of the wiffle ball to work in their advantage.
Yeah, I mean, you're not throwing it, you're flicking it. If you swing really hard, sometimes it's not the greatest swing. I mean, one of our best hitters looks like he's just throwing his hands at it, you know.
Michael Dean's going to pop this one into left field. James Perez, a couple of shuffle steps in either direction before eventually bringing it in.
And Perez, another guy with a baseball background, really good fielder, will only get better. The Warbirds definitely did a great job with their roster configuration over the offseason.
Flinty will get out in front of that, foul it back behind the broadcast booth and fall behind 0-2. Looks like a lot of that money in on the Warbirds. 172,000 wiffle ball points. Flintey's going to dribble that one into fair territory. Petricus will take control of it and retire him for the second out of the inning.
So how soon before we have a bench Brad meme?
Somebody will do it.
That's fine. I'm okay with it. Might not get 15 at bats all year.
A little bit of alliteration does sort of roll off the tongue there. Justin Hicks is going to dribble that one, a comebacker to Mockabee. He'll just easily throw it into the backstop. And it's 1-2-3 inning for the Warbirds.
And that was quick work. Mockabee maybe threw 5 pitches in that inning. Got out it quick, and let's see if the Warbirds can start getting base runners. Balls in play, see if they can keep hitting the ball hard.
And after a nearly hour-long game in game number 1, we're speeding right along already into the top of the third here in game number 2. Kenny McDowell returned to the hill for the Sandvipers. As we mentioned earlier, McDowell working with a 3.93 ERA. If McDowell were to walk out of this game, who do we see next? Justin Hicks?
You're probably going to go to Justin Hicks if I had to guess. Depends on the score of the game, really.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we kind of had these questions last week when Tom came into a game with very few innings, but they wanted to win the series. And then that cost them the last game in the series when they had to go to Jameson, and Jameson just couldn't get the job done. So,
Jim Dodos, I left my bat down in the visitor dugout. As Mockabee is going to split the 5-6 hole. Will it get out to the wall? It will. The wind kind of took control of that somehow. Gets past the outstretched hands of Tom Gannon. Mocks aboard with a leadoff double. Back to that story. Dodos saw my bat over there, called up to the broadcast booth, asked me if it was my bat. I thought he wanted to use it. He said, no, I'm going to take it out of here because I might snap it in half.
Dodos always a stream team player.
Uh-huh. Sean Merciel will step in. Runner on second, nobody out. Dell will spike that one down in the turf. Miss outside. Merciel will get ahead. Down into the turf. Merciel will draw a walk. He'll occupy the open first base. Still nobody out. And Jimmy Perez is going to step in, but the Vipers are going to go ahead and make a pitching change. Excuse me. Yeah, it's a forced pitching change. That's the second walk. Okay, yep. Second walk from McDowell. He has walked out. Hard to keep track.
And going to Hicks, again, without having Tannick here, they're short one arm. Hicks, Dean moves over to the short, but you've taken the best shortstop in the league, and you put him on the mound. Definitely just a thrower, just trying to throw strikes. Hoping to burn a couple innings here. He'd like to get out of this inning with no damage, but he inherits a tough situation. First and second, nobody out. James Perez is coming up, and then you're going to roll right over to the top of that lineup. So, and Buck Burner's probably been the most effective hitter tonight for the Warbirds.
Yeah, Buck starting off the game with a double. Will be due up here in this inning as there's still nobody out. 2 runners on. We'll see Perez, then Buck, and then Dodos. Unless somebody grounds into a double play. Still haven't seen that triple play yet. It is technically possible. You laser one down, step on third, go over to second, deliver to the center panel of the backstop, but you have to do it all in under 5 seconds. And yet to see it here in Season 5. Perez will watch ball one way inside. Right down the middle, late swing from Perez. Fall behind 1-2. Perez will check his swing. Did he go? He did not. 2-2. Outside, full count.
Well, Duke, we had a season 0 where it kind of nothing really happened. We just kind of were figuring it out.
Right over the top. That'll hit the Leilani sign. A base-clearing double for James Jimmy Perez, and the Warbirds are up 2-0. Great piece of hitting from Perez. Gets his team on the board first.
What a great swing.
Still nobody out. Petricus swings at the first offering from Hicks and fouls it back. Hicks is going to gas up. I don't believe it was 95. I think Pocket Radar probably read the bat wave of Petricus.
I'd like to see the Warbirds express a little patience here, swinging at pitches that are not strikes.
Buckburner will strike out. I think there was a little bit of maybe pondering whether or not he got a piece of that. And he's going to walk back to the dugout. Bring up Dodos with 1 on 2 outs. Dodos will lay off the first pitch, which is inside 1-1. Hicks misses outside. Misses outside again. 3-1 to Dodos. Throw Dodos a cookie. He's going to put it over the right field wall. Instead, it's a 4-pitch walk. Jim Dodos will go over to first base.
And now you got the guy who started this, Peter Mockabee, batting 6-man lineups. These roll around really quick, so let's see if they can build this momentum right here.
Tank 53 outside bar. Good pitch from Hicks. The wind is now, I feel like it might be blowing straight in.
I think you're right. It's definitely coming in now from left center, straight at us.
Swing and a miss. Mockabee will strike out. Birds will strand 2, but not before bringing 2 across the plate and putting the Warbirds ahead 2-0.
Yeah, big inning there. The rookie steps up. Perez steps up with a big base-clearing double after a great at-bat by Murciel to walk out the pitcher. It was a fantastic.
Yeah, as we alluded to earlier, Sandvipers bullpen not too deep. In the absence of Adam Tannick, Tom Gannon has already pitched 6 innings. He has 3 to give. Anybody in the chat's wondering what we're talking about and wants to see some more examples of the rules here in PLW, you can just type !rules into the chat. You'll get a link to PremierLeagueWiffle.com. You can check out our full rule book. Pitchers only allowed to pitch 9 innings total throughout a 3-game series. Mockabee will step back onto the mound for the Warbirds. Tom Gannon into the box for the Vipers. Pitch 1 outside. Spare at 4. Nobody knows where Tannick is. Somewhere, I'm guessing, in the South Pacific.
Yeah, J-Rock was pretty confident in his Thailand. He got that pretty hit. I think we actually talked about that a couple weeks ago before he left.
I'm thinking definitely that area. Just judging on, I think it's an island because that water out there was very dark.
Yeah.
Usually indicates deep sea.
What a great tank.
Full count to Gannon. A miss inside, and Mockabee will walk Gannon and walk right off the mound. A little bit of a conversation.
I don't think it's a conversation at all. I think they're going right to Dodos. He's just waiting on Kirby.
Yep. Looks like third base umpire Cody Runnels asleep at the controls of Kirby Bucket. And he's going to get an earful from PLW Nation for forgetting about Kirby.
Yeah, so Petricus has pitched 5. He has 4 to go. He could get him through this game. 3, 4, 5, 6. So.
Runnels was looking right at me. He looked like somebody had like shot a cannon. He's like, oh no, I forgot Kirby. Too late now. It's all right. Oh no, Kirby has had a spill. Sometimes. You know, Kirby's only got 1 gear too.
Yes.
He comes speeding out of his little home. As Petricus is pretty much already done warming up here. Kirby's got a little bit of agita there. Might have to have him looked at.
Little alignment problem there.
Yep. A few questions in the chat. Who won the first game? Sandvipers won 1-0. Complete game shutout from Tom Gannon. This is game number 2. Warbirds strike first. Ahead 2-0 here in the bottom of the third. There is nobody out, and we just had a pitching change. Peter Mockabee goes over to third base, and Petricus will take his place on the bump. Tavano looks at ball 1, low and away. Shoots that into right field. That is going to hit the top of the fence. It's going to stay in the yard, but it's a triple. That'll score Gannon. Tavano nearly with a 2-run shot. I'll bring up Kenny McDowell. McDowell's going to shoot that one up the middle. That'll score Tavano. We have a tie ball game. Still nobody out. Kenny McDowell showing his offensive prowess. Shooting that one right back up the middle. And that'll bring up Michael Dean. Dean will look one on the outside pipe, but it's hot, 56. A 1-1. Dean will foul that one back. 1-2. Where is Tanik? Looks like Thailand jumping out to an early lead in that pole. Dean is going to smash that one directly down. Go off his body and stay foul. Lake Mead. Choice number 4. Getting a lot of votes for Lake Mead.
No infinity pools at Lake Mead.
Petricus will miss outside. Did you see the lights flutter a little bit there?
Yeah, a little bit. Little wind blast, little gust here. About 25. Definitely a 2-club wind for playing golf. Definitely a 2-club wind into the wind. Probably 3-club wind in, 2-club down.
Full count to Dean. He'll shoot it right over to the second baseman, Burner. Pick it up and throw it into the center of the backstop. Plenty of time for out number 1.
Yeah, that's Thailand all day.
Thinking?
100%.
There's a couple of gas stations there, and I couldn't quite make out the logos. As Flentai grounds one over to short, Sean Mercill picks it up and retires him for the second out. We'll go back to the top of the order. Justin Hicks, 2 out, runner on second in the form of Kenny McDowell. You know, it's a cell phone video, so it's a little bit pixelized, but for everybody who thinks it's Thailand, tell me where in Thailand. Is that Pattaya Beach? Petricus will miss outside to Hicks. Hollywood saying Costa Rica. No, he was in Costa Rica, no more. A dribbler back to Petricus, plenty of time. He'll throw it easily into the backstop, out number 3. That lead-off double. Excuse me. The lead-off walk and then a double later from Kenny McDowell. Will stay stranded on second base, but they do even the score 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, the triple that was just one of those things where he hit it perfectly, and if Dodos can't get there, nobody's getting there, and he just kind of hung up. But I still like where the Warbirds are. Hicks has already got a walk. There's nobody behind Hicks that they're going to go to. Now, if they get through the fourth inning, Gannon might come in and pitch the last game if they're ahead to seal the win, to get the victory. That's the only thing I can see happening. But, I mean, I'm looking out there. I'm like, okay, well, who pitches? It's Jamison Steed or is it Tavano? Michael Dean can throw strikes, but they don't really have a lot of options. So This is a war of attrition in these 3-game series now.
As we take a look out over the mountains to the west of the Las Vegas Valley. Summerlin, Mount Charleston area in the background. You do get some great sunsets here in the desert. Sean Mercier will fall behind to Justin Hicks. That was the first one back. 54 and a 2-pitch strikeout for Justin Hicks. I'll bring up James Perez. James Perez had that big double his last at-bat. And swing and miss at that one. 1-2 to Jimmy, as they call him. Swing and a miss, and he'll strike out. And Hicks, effective early here in the fourth. Ball 1 to Petricus.
I'd like to see him be just a little bit more patient. Swinging at balls not in the zone. There's a
Fouled
better
off
swing.
the first base side.
Much better swing there. At least that ball was in the zone.
Way inside. 2-2. .55 and a swing and miss from Petricus. And Justin Hicks just struck out the side, Brad.
Yeah, there he goes, just throwing the ball. Hey, throw me over the plate in this wind, throw strikes, and see what happens. I didn't like the Mercier at bat. He was aggressive early on 58 and then watched 54 down the pipe. Probably not seeing the ball real well. Sometimes the lights here in the second game or at the end of the first game are kind of tough because it's not right dark, but it's not quite light. Maybe he's not seeing the ball real good. But, I still like where the Warbirds are at. They're right there. They just got to get a couple guys on base, put the ball in play, and they got the right guy. He's going to throw strikes, attack the ball, be aggressive. Even if you strike out swinging, be aggressive on both swings.
Warbirds falling to a record of 8-17 after they lost game number 1-0 to the Sandvipers. Looking to right the ship here in game number 2. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Sandvipers answered back, evening the score. Jim Dodos on in relief of Peter Mockabee here in the bottom of the fourth. And he'll look to hold things down for his team and give them another chance to jump ahead.
I wonder if the lefties are having a problem because that wind is blowing everything from their pitch hand and it's staying outside. It's not coming back like they expected to. We saw Jim have that look quite a few times going, man, that ball's just not coming back.
Yep, game number 1, first batter walked. Third batter walked. In each case, as you alluded to, Brad, he's looking for that ball to come back inside, and it just stayed outside.
Yeah.
Be lefty on lefty here as Dodos faces Tom Gannon. Bottom 4. First pitch in there, 52 miles per hour. Inside, 1-2. Looks like the poll is convinced Adam Tanek is in Thailand. Popped up to left field. Wynn's going to take care of it. It's coming back in, and nobody calls it. And Dodos is apoplectic after that defensive miscue.
Well, when you turn around, you have to call the ball. As Mockabee turns, you can't look for it. You've got to find it.
Gannon aboard. An error in left field. Tavano will curse his bad luck there as he watches one in 51 miles per hour. Comebacker. Dodos blocks it down. He'll flip it over to second. Merciel with the force out. Hits the strike zone, but 5.19 seconds just over the time limit.
Still a great play by Dodos, kind of taking it on himself. I'm not letting anybody else field this ball. And Sean has nothing to lose there. Make a good throw. Always on target with his throws, so take the chance, maybe get lucky and hit it under 5.
Tavano reaches on a fielder's choice. Kenny McDowell, 1-on-1 out. Look at ball number 1. Right as Jim was delivering that, a big gust of wind came in. Might have blown that one off the plate. Miss outside again. 2-1 to McDowell. Just outside, and Jim is so frustrated. This is a pitch. That's his get-me-over pitch, Brad. He's expecting that to cut back inside, and the wind is just pushing it just outside.
It's just enough to stop it. If you leave it over the middle, it's just a hanger.
Comes back over, right side. Will it stay fair? It will not. Wind blows that ball foul. Count remains full to McDowell. And it's ball number 4. McDowell scrapes out a walk. An important, crucial walk, possibly.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a bad walk. It sets up a much easier double play, the 3-2. Michael Dean, a notorious pull hitter. If he hits something on the ground to Merciel or Mockabee, it could be 2 outs easy.
It's going to tink top bar. It could just scrape the top bar of the strike zone on its way in. Ball 1 low.
Right, Jake? You got that right, but I'm here.
Shot into center field. Petrikis will make the grab. Leave that replay up just in case anybody's got any questions about it. Looked like Petrikis got his hands underneath it, clasped his arms together, caught it with his forearms, Brad.
What a great play. The All-American. Undersold out there in the outfield. Probably a Gold Glove contender every year. Just not a lot of flash, but that was definitely flash. Definitely just in and out all day long. But a little flash there from Matty.
2 outs. 2 on for Flentai. It's going to pop it up. Jim Dodos off the mound in a hurry, gathers it in foul territory, gets his team out of a jam. Score remains 2-2.
Jim spikes that ball. Not happy with the little flare that fell in, but the Warbirds step up and make plays and get out of that inning unscathed, and now ready to rock and roll against the pitcher they've seen at least one time through the order. Let's see if they can capitalize now.
That wasn't my bat. My bat was safely sequestered from the Warbirds' dugout in anticipation of any possible frustration. There was talk earlier in the season, Brad, about a possible new addition to the stream team. A frustration cam has been called for and asked for, and PLW Nation is demanding a frustration cam. We just don't know exactly where we're going to put it.
Maybe behind the Connex, so you can say like like one of those MTV shows where they had the truth
The
room.
confessional.
Yeah, the confessional.
So word was it that Tom Gannon actually has a punching bag stored off-site somewhere that we might be able to unlock and get over here. Maybe we can get a camera looking at that. Something for a frustrated batter to take out some aggression on.
Yeah. I mean, I can see, well, J-Rock would hit it at least once or twice.
Delahunty asking any chance of the Batgate investigation being reopened. I believe that case has been solved, Delahunty. I'll let you go on the social media to find out about that. Visit Premier League Wiffle on Twitter. I think Batgate was solved. Don't quote me on that. Buck Burner will swing underneath that pitch from Justin Hicks. That's his 4th strikeout in a row.
Look for Dodos to do some damage here. I got a feeling.
Dodos will swing at that one. It's a little bit hot. Not exactly sure why we have the umbrella on the center field cam in winds like this, but if you're wondering what that is dipping down into the shot, we have a little sun guard on our center field camera that is just getting absolutely peppered by the wind. And I'll probably ask Tom Gannon to go out there and remove it in between innings there. Actually, he's due up, so maybe after his at-bat. Yeah, there you see it. I'm sure PLW Nation will be patient with us as we're always battling the elements out here for the stream. How is Dodos feeling? Full-blown tilt, sad puppy dog, hangry, happy as a clam. As he's going to be happy after that one, he puts it into the Garden of Serenity. A solo shot for Jim Dodos gets the Warbirds back on top.
So I hate to be right, but I thought that one was coming. He's seen Hicks 3 times. He wasn't going to miss him every single time. And there he goes, putting the Warbirds on his back again, trying to get these guys, drag them to the finish line with a win here.
Expect happy as a clam to shoot up in that pole after that solo shot, that laser beam that actually got caught up in the wind, but maybe that wind helped it out to right field a little bit. Either way, an extremely hard hit ball results in a home run. Mockabee chops that one back to Hicks. That'll be the 2nd out of the inning. I see Trench out there looking at the umbrella on the center field cam, looking at it as if it's a foreign object, as Merciel gets it going with the bat. A shot right up the middle, another base runner for the Warbirds.
Again, a guy who needs to see the bat hit the ball. He's hit 3 or 4 balls well. Finally got a base hit, got a break.
Trench is out there like wondering, oh no, this one shot center field, back, not far enough. Wind kind of shot that one back down into the field. Kenny McDowell will gather it in for out number 3. But the Warbirds bats have come alive here, starting to see the pitches a lot better. And there's Trench out there.
He's saying,
right
what
now
do I need to do?
He's Googling, how do I take an umbrella off a tripod? He's afraid to touch it, I'm telling you.
I'm afraid to touch it.
If I touch this
GK.
and I don't do it right,
because GK can watch me.
He's going to run out of the booth and he's going to yell at me. Look at he's looking up at it right now. It's okay, Trench. I'll send Tom down there after he bats, and Tom will take down the umbrella. Oh, he's like, what do I do?
He'll figure it out.
Oh,
Trench,
he's going to figure it out.
He's going to figure it out. He's a smart guy.
There you go, Trenchy. Woo! Good job, bud. No more dipping down into the shot. Jim Dodos going to return to the mound for the Warbirds after putting his team ahead. A solo shot makes it 3-2. Try to help out his own cause by shutting down at the Sandvipers here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, moving right along.
Yeah, he'll face leadoff batter Justin Hicks here. Top of the order for the Vipers. And Trench just took it off it entirely. Thank you, Trench. That's going to get out. The wind has blown it right off the bat of Justin Hicks. Might have gotten out anyway, Brad, but the score is now tied. Wow.
Yeah, just, hey, one pitch is all it takes. And trying to get that get over, doesn't want to walk out.
First pitch of the inning results in a solo shot back to a deadlock. 3-3, nobody out. That'll bring up Gannon.
And that makes the poll accurate. 2 home runs on the evening.
Mm-hmm. Popped up. It's going to be hard. Mockabee actually calling out Jim's name. And Jim does indeed get under it. Mockabee saw that ball tailing back towards the pitcher because of the wind. Tells his pitcher to make the out. Grounder. Dodos gets in front of it. Merciel's going to pick up the garbage. Great teamwork there. Jimmy bats it down. Sean picks up the garbage and gets the out.
Your production needs called Trench.
Down into the dirt and outside, ball 1 to McDowell. McDowell will swing and miss. Brings the count to 1-2. Trench, of course, used to be a member of the Sandvipers team, traded mid-season to your Legends in a big blockbuster trade. Legends have been red hot since the acquisition of Trench. A lot of people calling it the curse of the Trench Beano.
I like it. I'll take it. Take whatever I can get.
McDowell's going to ground this one back to Merciel. He'll flip it easily into the backstop for out number 3. And save for that solo shot by Justin Hicks to lead off the inning. Dodos is effective thereafter. But nonetheless, score is 3-3 as we move into the top of the 6th. And there's Trench. When he's not doing production work, helping out the stream team, whether in the booth or removing umbrellas from center field cam, he's finding himself some time to relax and take in a PLW game.
Absolutely. I mean, this is I think he's still got a lot of friends on the Vipers. I know that him and Tavano talk a lot. He likes McDowell. He likes all the guys. Dean. He liked the team. The trade was just, part of the PLW. It just was meant to be. We're happy to have him, and I believe the Vipers are happy with their end of the deal. Keegan will definitely be a player at some point. He's just too talented to not be a great player. But, I mean, I'll take the immediate returns we got with Mr. Picone.
This is the top tier of competitive wiffle ball in the nation at the semi-fast pitch format. We've had guys come out, assemble teams full of all-stars.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Full of fast pitch guys that also play some medium, semi-fast pitch to come out here. One team full of all-stars came out here in the Challenger tournament. Nearly won their way into the PLW, but eventually did fall.
Yeah, to a 3-run bomb by A.J. Petrosky.
Yeah, in wind very similar to this, and somehow he got right through it. Petrikis will lay off that one, fill the count. Fights that one off inside. Stays 3-2. Petrikis, one of the best 6-hole batters in the league. I'll show why right there. Great eye. Patient at bat. He'll go over to first.
Yeah, I think the 6-hole is one of the more important spots in the lineup because it does roll that lineup over. The ability to get on base. You don't have to necessarily get a hit. Take a walk. Know that your job is to get that number 1, because in this league, we don't really bat our best hitters third. You bet your best hitter first so he can get more at-bats in a 54-game season. I mean, you're probably going to get 15 more at-bats a season. That's 15 more chances to do damage.
And Kirby having a little bit of time getting off the field. Kirby normally has more time. Tom Gannon took 0 warm-up pitches. He extracted a single ball from Kirby. And he's going to step up and throw it. Gannon coming on in relief of Justin Hicks, who's effective. Buck Burner.
Yeah, so we got guys saying, hey, Tom's using up an inning here. Well, they're trying to win this game. They'll figure out game 3 and game 3.
.51 and in there. Evens the count 2-2 to Burner. Runner on first, nobody out. 12-6 misses outside. Wind might have blown that off the bar. Full count.
Heroic, I would say Cody's trying to drive Kirby.
Mm-hmm. High fly ball, right field. Wind blowing it. Flentai after it. Unable to make it. And Buck Burner aboard with a dirty single. Because that was touched by Flentai in right field, Petrikis will hold at second base.
And here they go back to the 4-man infield. Dodos is going to take this ball down the third base line and take this easy base. Just hit the ball hard on the ground, right at the third baseman.
Dodos trying to go opposite way, but it goes foul. Michael Dean gives chase, but that ball hits the third base railing, after which it is a dead ball. 0-2 to Dodos. 12-6 inside on the hands of Dodos. He'll strike out for out number 1.
There's another chance for Mockabee to step up big here.
Mockabee grounded out his last at-bat. Riser from Gannon. Mockabee gets his bat out of the way. Mockabee trying to go opposite way as well. He'll foul it off. And it's 1-2.
Yeah, I think they both had the same thought. I'm not going to try and pull it into this wind. I'm just going to try and hit something hard that side.
Down in the turf. 2-2. Down in the graphics, it's 2-2 now. Fouled off. So see all these people watching over on TikTok. You guys see that link on the field? Come on over to Twitch. I have a better product for you over here. Come on over, give it a try. You're not going to regret it. Full count. Popped up. Gannon calls for it, claps his hands. That ball nearly got away from him, Brad.
Yeah, I think Mockabee is kicking himself there. He swung at ball 4. That was a pitch up and in, kind of just rode up and in with the wind. And a walk there would have been huge, huge, huge.
Big gust of wind came in at the last second, blew that ball back towards the backstop. Nearly crossed up Gannon as Merciel.
And it's dirty. It touches the wall. It's a dirty double. So
it'll score Patricus. That'll put the Warbirds ahead. Burner will go over to third. He will not score on the play because that double was of the dirty variety. Touched by an outfielder before hitting the wall. Will put Merciel on second. 2 runners in scoring position, 2 outs for James Perez. He'll watch the first pitch in 48 for strike number 2.
Yeah, I would have loved to see Jimmy being very aggressive there because Tom's not walking him.
He will strike him out, gets Perez looking, but not before Sean Merciel with an RBI single-turn double has put the Warbirds ahead. They'll need to defend this 1-run lead as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. They're going to need to lock down that defense, Brad.
Yeah, so defense has been the Warbirds' calling card for their entire existence. They're not a big strikeout team. They rely on their defense. And the windy conditions have kind of let them down a couple of times, but I think Dodos is going to take charge. Merciel has seen good plays on the offensive side. Defense hasn't really let him down, but now that he's got the little pep in his step with a little bit and Jimmy playing well, I see the Warbirds closing this out.
Everybody who's got the blue 1 next to their name in the chat is hoping you are correct, as they are getting plus 1.5 for the Warbirds. And the Warbirds currently leading by 1 run here in the bottom of the 6th, 3 outs away from winning game number 2.
Yeah, that's the one person I don't see is Uncle B, Brian Putter.
Yeah.
A quality lefty that can come in and throw strikes. I don't see him, so I'm guessing that he's not here today.
Yeah, Peter was listed on that graphic earlier in the day, but it looks like he did not make it out to Hideaway Field this afternoon. Not listed under the line. Michael Dean stepped out, called time a little bit there. Dodos really winging that one in there, 57 and outside for ball number 1. Dodos looking very serious. Who's got the meanest mug in the PLW? I wonder if anybody can compare with Dodos.
Jason Stevenson.
Ah. In there, but it's 56. 3-1 to Dean. It's got to be perfect. It was perfect, but no, it was 56. Dean was taking all the way. And Dodos, 1 mile per hour over the limit, has put the first batter on base.
Is that his second walk?
It is indeed, as Kirby Bucket is going to make another trip out to the mound, deliver some relief warm-up balls to Matt Petricus. Petricus, the relief workhorse for this team, coming in to this series. 50 innings pitched. I believe he gave a few in game number 1.
Yeah, so he's this will be his 7th inning worked.
Yeah.
So he's they're trying to win this game. I'm a strong believer in you win the game in front of you. You worry about game 3 in game 3. You never know what could happen. You could score 10 in the first and not have to stress about it. Win the game in front of you. A team that's desperate for a win. This is what they want to do here. If he gets a ground ball to Murcio or to Mock, you get an easy double play here and get out of this inning. It'd be a total momentum change.
Dustin Flinty will step in, runner on first, nobody out. He'll swing at the first pitch. Good slider from Petricus. Swing and a miss from Flinty. Not the most patient at-bat from Dustin.
That was filthy. So, again, not used to a ball breaking in. It looked like it was middle of the plate. He committed, and the ball snaps in on him.
1 out, 1 on. Justin Hicks had that solo home run back in the 5th inning to tie the game up. Can he do it again here in the bottom of the 6th?
I don't think Justin sees Matty very well. He kind of made some comments that he doesn't like the ball down, doesn't see it really well, wants it up, or at least coming from an upper elevation, not seeing the ball well.
And he goes with a 3/4 arm angle there. Big slider way outside. 2-2.
Not trying to throw a strike there. Just seeing if he can get Justin a little over-aggressive trying to hit that ball.
12-6 inside on the hands of Hicks. He'll turn and foul it down the third baseline.
The Warbirds have their best defense, so their best defense is on the field here. So this ball in play will be good for them.
Petricus steps laterally off the pitching rubber, tries to come across the hands of Hicks, but misses inside. Full count.
Got to get a strike here.
He does not. He misses high. Base on balls has put Michael Dean on. Flinty struck out, but now Hicks on first base on a walk as well.
This is not a good matchup for Matty.
Oh, boy. A lefty at the plate. Wind is blowing that direction.
Almost straight
on.
out now to right.
Petricus misses way outside. A single will tie the game. A double will walk it off.
I don't think he's going to throw him a strike, to be honest.
If he walks out, we're going to see the deepest part of the Warbirds bullpen.
Yeah, Buck Burner. I'd go to Buck there.
We've got Dan Pickering over there as well. Don't see Brian Pooter. And, of course, Dave Seifert was traded from the Warbirds to Lightning, so he's no longer available. And it looks like it is going to be Buck.
Yeah, I'd go to Buck here. Buck's a notorious strike thrower. Really only has 2 pitches, fastball and a slider. Lives in the speed, but again, the defense doesn't get worse. The defense is still solid, and they're going to talk about it here. Like, hey, you have 1 out. You have to try and throw. You have to try and get it over play here, because you can't hold it. And if you go home and you don't hit the center panel, the run scores anyway.
Yep. Yeah, not a good situation here for the Warbirds. Bases loaded, 1 down. Tavano on deck. Yeah, they are indeed talking about it. You got to hit that center panel. You used to have to hit the strike zone for the force out. Realize that's probably not the best rule. The rule was changed in the offseason. The idea being here that it's the same as the catcher standing up and standing on home plate. So it's perfectly fine to hit that center panel high. However, if you get a force out at another base, you can then throw it back to the strike zone. It's like a tag out at home plate.
Yeah. But they have the 3-2. You have every double play combination that we have is in play, and they don't have to make a play at the plate. You've got really good infielders. I'm sure they've talked about it. They've got their best 3 infielders. A ground ball to Maccabee at third. He steps on 3, throws it to 2, practically runs it to 2, and you get out of this and you win the game.
Look for Tavano to try to go to right field here. Ball 1 high and inside. Will the Vipers walk it off? A pole in there.
Great pitch.
Buck comes straight over the top. 12-6 misses low. .53 and in the middle of the pan. And Tavano gets caught looking.
Yeah, I'd love to see a swing there. Ball in play. A strikeout is the only thing that was bad there. Any ball in play gives him a chance to win the game.
2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the 6th. He bats it down. Merciel will step on third, and the Warbirds hold off the late surge from the Sandvipers and take game number 2 by a score of 4-3.
They needed that. I can't think of a team that needed to win more. And way to come through. And like I said, the depth of the bullpen showed up.
Buckburner coming in, 4th pitcher in this game after Petrikis came in and walked 2 Vipers on the precipice. Had the bases loaded with just 1 out. They were able to get the strikeout from Tavano and then the ground out there from Kenny McDowell. Merciel picks up the garbage from Peter Maccabee, steps on third base, and takes game number 2. That's Brad Ogden. I'm Greg Kelly. Thanks for watching PLW game number 3. Straight ahead, right after this. Right back here at Hideaway Field, Greg Kelly and Brad Ogden bringing you Premier League Wiffle live from Las Vegas. The Sandvipers and the Warbirds all knotted up here, a rubber match straight ahead. The Sandvipers took game number 1, 1-0, a complete game shutout from Tom Gannon. They came back, a back-and-forth affair, a couple of solo shots traded into right field. Warbirds get ahead. Bottom of the 6th, the Sandvipers have the bases loaded with 1 out, and the Warbirds get out of it.
Yeah, it was a great team effort there. I mean, Maccabee laying out at third base to keep that ball in the infield, and Merciel covering the play. We always talk about that. Guys chest it down. Who's going to the ball, rally to the ball. Their heads were never down in that game. They were walking like they were the Warbirds the first couple of weeks. He was there to cover, grab it, touch third base, walk away with the win. And now they have a chance to get 2 out of the 3 because Tom Gannon has effectively pitched himself out of the series. He's only got 2 innings left in the rest of the series.
We're going to have to see some more effective work from Justin Hicks, who will take the mound here for the Sandvipers in game number 3, Brad. I've been handed lineups. It looks like the exact same lineups that we had in game number 1 and game number 2 for both teams. We'll go over it one more time. We'll see Buckburner leading off, followed by Jim Dodos batting 2nd, Peter Maccabee 3rd, Sean Merciel batting 4th, James Perez 5th, and Matt Petrikis batting 6th for the Warbirds. Over on the Sandvipers side, it'll be Hicks, Gannon, Tavano, followed by McDowell, Dean, and Flinty. Same rundown for both teams. If you're just joining us, thank you for watching PLW. Game number 1 went to the Sandvipers. Game number 2 went to the Warbirds, and we're ready for the rubber match. Windy conditions remain here at Hideaway Field, Brad.
Yeah, winds kind of shifted a little bit, but it's still pretty intense, about 20, 25 miles an hour, and it's blowing now, I would say, across the field from left to right, kind of blowing out to right. Both home runs were to right at the Garden of Serenity. Balls in the air are still going to be tough to play. But this game will be 100% about who can throw strikes, which bullpen can step up. Just by looking at the innings, Matty Petrikis has pitched himself essentially out of the series. He's only got 2, but Dodos has plenty, Mock has plenty, Buck has plenty. We haven't seen Pickering. Much more pitching depth on the Warbirds side. It's an even money. It looks like you're getting a little bit better odds right now on the Warbirds. I like the Warbirds again in this series just because of the pitching depth.
And I'm glad we won't see any bench Brad emojis coming out in the Twitch chat, as Brad was right. The Warbirds edging the Sandvipers in game number 2. Game number 3 underway. The first pitch from Justin Hicks to Buckburner is fouled off the first baseline. come right back. Center pan, 52 miles per hour. Looks like Buck was fooled there.
Yeah, I don't think he saw that one. Thought it was going to be a slider, and it kind of came back. Not really a screwball, but kind of like a little two-seam action.
Yep. Just a small little tailing fastball, if you will. We'll sit Buck down looking.
Oh, I changed the betting line. Sandvipers. Now you're getting minus 110 maybe for the Warbirds. I don't know if I affected the line, but I'll take it.
Yep. No spread on this game. Straight pick 'em. So the market will decide what the odds are. Money coming in on the Warbirds. 97,000. Going to break the 100K wiffle point. Oh, and here it comes back on the Sandvipers, a seesaw in the betting market.
Well, my guess is that is Glenn Meadows making a bet on his Sandvipers. He's one of the more in-tune guys.
Glenn Meadows works in the gaming industry here in Las Vegas. I believe he's a slot pit boss manager.
Him and I umpire for the same softball affiliation, or we did for a long time. I don't do it anymore, but that's where him and I know each other.
Jim Dodos takes a walk down to first base, and he'll be aboard for Peter Maccabee with one away. Maccabee's going to shoot this one into center field. Nobody home. Left side will advance. Dodos to second. 2 on, 1 out for Sean Merciel.
So there they go. The Vipers have again employing that 4 infielder lineup. We won't see that a whole lot, but they're just shooting it over shortstop's head, taking that free single.
And for Merciel, they're going to go back to the traditional 3-2. Flinty over there at third, Michael Dean at short, Mark Tavano at second base, Tom Gannon in left field, Kenny McDowell way over in right, center field wide open for Merciel. He's going to go right side, but it's a dribbler. Tavano's pick it up. He'll go over to second for the easy force.
Yep, no need to throw it there.
Yep.
Nothing good can happen. There was already over 5.
Yep, Michael Dean cocked to throw, but he looked up at the stopwatch monitor, saw it was already over 5 seconds before. No reason to even risk throwing it over that backstop. Sean Merciel will reach first base on a fielder's choice. Jimmy Perez will look at ball 1 fast. 2 down. Men on the corners.
Oh, good swing.
Perez just misses that one. It's 1-2.
Jay Buff, my guy, trying to get me. He's a director of softball out here, trying to get me back out there. I don't know. Don't think I can do it.
Hicks was walking back to the dugout, but it was a little bit hot. Oh, excuse me. It was a check swing. He did not go. 2-2. This one is foul down into the ground. It will stay foul. Field looking great out there, Brad. Gave the turf a little bit of a rejuvenation over the weekend.
A little massage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look good. Lines are painted. You can see the fielders a little bit better. Everything's picking up as the second half of the season will be starting next week. This is the last week of the first half.
Checks his swing one more time, but it won't matter. 55 miles per hour and into the pan. James Perez gets caught looking. 2 runners stranded.
10 the hard way. 10 the hard way there. Kind of the new one. I like yours, the 110 see ya.
Yeah. So that'll bring up the Sandvipers here in the bottom of the first. Once again, their lineup remains the same. Due up Justin Hicks, followed by Tom Gannon and Mark Tavano. My name's Greg Kelly. I'm joined by Brad Ogden in the booth tonight. Game number 3 between the Sandvipers and the Warbirds. It's a rubber match. Sandvipers took game number 1, 1-0. Warbirds came back and won 5-4 in game 2. And we're scoreless here in the bottom of the first in game number 3. Still plenty of time to get your wiffle points in if you haven't done so yet. All kinds of things you can redeem your wiffle points for.
Absolutely.
Click on that PLW emblem, find out. What are some of the things people can get?
You can get signed balls, signed jerseys, hoodies, hats, you name it. We've got some extra Legends jerseys. We play tomorrow night. I'll probably bring a couple extra jerseys. We'll try and give them out to some subscribers. If you have that PLW subscription, you vote in some of the chats. Put some. I don't even need you to put wiffle ball points on. Just vote in the chat. Maybe we'll give away a jersey.
Cool. Yeah, if you haven't done so already, be sure to bet those wiffle points. And if you want to buy some gear, don't forget you can just go to the PLW merchandise store Buy it straight online, have it delivered directly to your home. Just type !shop into the chat. Looks like the guys down below already did that for us.
Awesome. Stream team on it.
Buck Burner gets the call for the Warbirds here in game number 3. Justin Hicks steps to the dish and looks at ball 1.
Big for Buck here to give him a couple of innings so that Dodos or Maccabee can take over.
Foul that one straight back. 1-2. Piffle Void 1, a new PLW subscriber and watcher. Happy to have you here. That's a fair ball. Maccabee doing a great job batting that down. Marcel will pick up the garbage, and they get the out. Maccabee looking like a soccer goalie there over at third base.
And you would know all about that. Soccer goalie is the way to play defense over there. I mean, but I like the fact that Sean wasn't hanging his head after hitting so badly all season. Was in play, was over there to help out the team. Great play.
1 out. Brings up Tom Gannon. .58 miles per hour is a ball. It's over the top. 12-6. Gannon gets just underneath it.
No, Chad, I don't think that was a hit. I mean, 5 seconds might be too long, but this is an AstroTurf field, probably the only AstroTurf field in the country. Everybody else plays on grass, and it just takes a lot longer to get there. That ball's getting in there under a second, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed under a second.
Yeah, we got 3 independent stopwatches on the field. If it's close, those umpires will confer, and they'll average out the time. It's popped up. Petricus underneath it at first base for the second out of the inning.
Almost a dead heat, even money, 174, 171, 350,000 wiffle ball points getting wagered on this. We like that kind of handle.
Without a doubt. Oh, and it took a crazy bounce. I believe that ball was tacoed, Brad.
Yeah.
Nothing else to explain that kind of bounce.
100% tacoed. Hit it on the whole side, bends that ball in half, and takes just a spike, bad hop, unfortunate. But still,
yeah,
it's just a single. Don't let it get to you. Don't let the wiffle gods.
Yeah, that's wiffle ball.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. Petricus perfectly positioned, ready to take in what was sure to be a routine ground ball. And then it just took a left turn and hopped right over his right shoulder. Nothing he can do about that. It's like being a hockey goalie and somebody tips the puck on the way to the net. Just no time to react.
As a former hockey goalie, yes, that's just all you do is put your head down. Yeah. There's nothing you can do.
McDowell will look at ball 2. See if the wiffle gods are angry gods. Dribbler, back to Burner. He's got all day. He'll just go forward with it, and that's out number 3. So that little seeing eye taco ball that went over Petricus' shoulder will not get capitalized upon. And we stay scoreless. Move to the top of the second.
So we have a pretty educated, the whole world thinks this game is going to be even. That's as even as wiffle ball points as you're going to get. That's ridiculous.
We're within 20 points.
Yeah.
Absolutely even handle. Looks like our odds makers down in the booth deserve a pat on the back for getting many, many wiffle points into circulation. How do you calculate the inflation on wiffle ball points?
I can't count the inflation that we got going on now. It goes up so much.
We give them away. Everybody who's a subscriber just gets 60 wiffle points just for watching every minute or two. You just click on that PLW emblem and you'll add more wiffle points to your account.
I know I get 318 every game because I lose them every game.
Petricus will dribble this one right back to Hicks for the first out.
My one account on my TV at the home has 15,000 points, and my account on my phone has 318.
Buck Burner will step in. Foul the first one back behind the backstop, fall behind 0-2. Next pitch, inside and hot, 59. I know a lot of people in this chat cannot lay off. When they think they see a good line, it's all in or no bet at all.
Well, ours is always if you see Jim Dodos and you see Maddie Levine on the same side, you have to be on that side.
Is that right?
They know what's going on.
Sharpest bettors in PLW?
Yeah. Glenn Meadows right up there as well. If those three guys are on the same side, click it. You're in.
All right. And not so much when it's trench?
Yeah.
As Buck Burner's going to take a walk down to first base. Hicks will start off the top of the second, rather, by walking him. And that's going to precipitate a visit to the mound from Kirby Bucket.
Was that 2 walks already?
Indeed. Jim Dodos walked in the first inning.
So McDowell with the most innings available. He has 7 innings available, so he could definitely pitch them out. And he pitched really good in his last couple of outings. He's finding the strike zone, see if he can keep that going forward. Just keep going, getting better every week with throwing strikes, maybe mixing an extra pitch or not.
Yep. Looks like he has pretty good command of that slider, coming right over the top with it.
Just classic baseball move. Baseball player, like I said, he's definitely been coached. He definitely knows how to play bat and ball game, baseball. And wiffle ball his learning curve would be so fast. It's what we kind of said about the ones.
Yep.
Bat to ball skills are too good. Their hand-eye coordination for this kind of stick and ball sport is too good. Tennis players like yourself have success. It'll translate. It's just a matter of how soon that translation catches up.
You see the repeatable mechanics from Kenny McDowell. Comes from the same angle, same leg kick. Jim Dodos plasters that ball, but foul.
If he starts that over the 102, that ball's gone.
Yeah, that ball's somewhere near the Luxor now. Maybe down South Point. Maybe down that direction. Down into the turf. Ball 1.
I'll find it on my job site tomorrow morning when I go to the meeting.
Wow, that was cool in the chat, letting us know that he's got all of his friends hooked on PLW as well. Jim Dodos is going to do what he does, which is hit the ball extremely hard, gets through the infield clean. That'll advance Buck Burner over to third. Single for Dodos. Warbirds have something going here with just 1 out here in the top of the second. Sandvipers going once again with the 4 infielder set. Tom Gannon, he has a cannon out there. Look for Buck Burner to possibly bluff on a foul ball down that third baseline. The tag up is in play. You can see that bluff line down the third baseline.
Legends, we call it the stumble line. Twice we've hit that line and we've fallen.
Oh, no.
Trying to stop short.
Sniper wins.
Yes. Wow.
3-1 to Maccabee. Looking to load the bases up here. And that's exactly what will happen.
Bat on the shoulder, had no intention of swinging there, was going to make him throw a strike, knowing that if he walks him out, there's nobody behind him.
A walk for Mock will load the bases for the Warbirds. Still just 1 out. Sean Merciel looking to capitalize. A little bit of a meeting near the shortstop position, just discussing their defensive alignment. Tom Gannon directing this defense.
Tom Gannon knows the rules, part of the rules committee, I'm sure, so he's telling them what the options are. I don't see Merciel swinging either. Until he throws a strike, I wouldn't swing in this wind. It's gotten a little windier right now.
Yep. Did swing. That ball was right down the middle and deserved a swing. Merciel gets underneath it. Falls behind 1-2.
I'd like to see him just push that ball to the right side, hit it hard, now try and lift it over these 4 infielders.
Inside, good pitch from McDowell. Gets Merciel to strike out. 2 outs. Bases loaded for James Perez.
Big spot for the rookie here. Big spot for the rookie. Can he get a base hit here? He's gotten a couple big hits in his young PLW career. Can he keep it going?
That one's low, ball one. Perez got caught looking his last at-bat. Justin Hicks froze him. New pitcher in now. McDowell spikes that one away. In there. 56 for ball three.
Yeah. I mean, most of my guys, I'm telling them it's on them, but as a rookie, I'm saying it's red light.
Yeah, Chris Warfield had the stop sign on for Jimmy Perez there. Count is full.
Bearing 007, thank you for subscribing.
Subscribing with Prime. That's the way to do it. And that is ball four. That walks in a run. Buck Burner comes home. James Perez goes to first, and Kenny McDowell vacates the mound.
So McDowell is done. Hicks is done. Gannon's only got 2 innings left.
Here comes Tavano.
And we got Tavano. And again, no need to mark down innings because everybody that has innings calculated so far in this series is already eliminated except for Tom Gannon. He's only got 2.
Kirby Bucket was taking a few extra laps around the infield. Looked like Trench Pacone had control of Kirby. I'm wondering if his batteries might be in. Nope. Look, there's Kirby.
I think Kirby might have a bad alignment.
Yeah. You got to know how to drive Kirby. There's an art to it. And he's so sensitive. When you put a different number of balls, depending on how many balls you have in there, he might lean a little to the left or the right. So you have to be cognizant of that. And when you hit that trigger, he goes straight from first to fifth gear.
Now, I have cousins that drive those RC cars competitively.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going 75, 80 miles an hour. And they know how to do it. I couldn't get that thing to go from point A to point B and not make it tip over.
Yeah, Kirby is not the most sophisticated machinery out there in the RC market. He serves his purpose. He's got a lot of personality, and we love him here in PLW. Bases are loaded. 2 outs. Matt Petrikis on the mound. At the plate. Tavano on the mound. And he gets Petrikis to swing at the first one.
Base hit here would blow this game wide open.
.59 miles per hour. Too hot.
Caitlin's saying that every time she bats against her dad, she gets hit in the arms.
That's high. Swing and a miss from Petrikis. The Warbirds will leave the bases loaded, but not before the Sandvipers walked one in. And the Warbirds are up 1-0 as we move to the bottom of the second.
Yeah, so here's that pitching depth that we talked about at the top of the show. Warbirds at least have some pitching depth. Without Tanek here, they're missing 9 innings. And when Tom, no matter how great he was, it's almost like a plus. Trench and I talk about that. Oh, you face Tom or Mateo or any ace, Billy Santiwan, whoever you face. Okay, you lose 1-0, but they pitch 6 innings. You don't have to worry about them the rest of the series. Now we beat the rest of the team.
Looks like we got a new poll up there in the chat. Round 1, most intimidating team. Is it the Warbirds, the Ones, the Lightning, the Night Owls, or the Bombers? And looks like the Ones off to an early lead in that poll. Round 1 means that we're going to have another poll right after this one, Brad, with the other 5 teams.
Well, I can already tell you who wins the second round.
So if you don't like any of these 5, maybe hold your vote for round number 2.
We already know who wins the second one.
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we know?
We have the most intimidating player. He's a big teddy bear, but J-Rock's an intimidating guy.
Buck Burner returns to the hill for the Warbirds here in the bottom of the second. Michael Dean. He's going to pop this one. Shallow. Infield. That's off the hands of Merciel. He sort of collided with Petrikis at the last minute there. Might have affected his ability to catch that one. No. Before the collision, it went off his hands. Not an easy play to make.
Might be a home run every other night of the year, but not tonight.
Yeah.
But it's just a single. It's just, you got to lead. Buck's throwing strikes. You got a good defense out there. ground ball, turn a double play, be ready to rock. Here it is. Here's your double play. Sean Mercier make a good throw. Boom, double
Gets
play.
him. 4.91. Mercier redeems himself immediately, turns the double play. And there's 2 down for Justin Hicks.
Yeah, great play. Again, the Warbirds got a little swagger going, just like they did in the first half of the season, first half there. First couple weeks, I was really high on them, and then they did what the Warbirds have done the last 4 weeks.
Down into the turf for Hicks, 2-1. Fouled that one into the Skycam booth. Way up high. Full count. And a walk to Justin Hicks. Send him over to first base.
Yeah, big batter here. He doesn't want to walk out, but Tom Gannon, probably one of the few guys that's going to hit it out in this wind. Lefty, not a good matchup for Buck, so see if he can get through this batter and get in that dugout.
The Ones win the poll for most intimidating team of the 5 that were listed. Winning out over the Bombers, Warbirds, Lightning, Night Owls. Buck Burner comes high and inside. A little chin music for Gannon. I'm sure we'll get round 2 of that poll any second here. Gannon's going to pop this one up. Buck is in after it for the 3rd out of the inning. Warbirds get out of it.
And he got through the toughest part of their order too. Got through Hicks, got through Gannon. Now can they roll? Can they start this next inning and pick right up where they left off?
Yeah, Sandvipers a little thin tonight. They've rolled out the same 6 batters all night. Of course, they're missing Adam Tannick, also missing Jordan Keegan, a rookie who has come hot as of late, unable to make it tonight, traveling and not at Hideaway Field.
I like to see Lynn Meadows get in the game. There's not been a lot of success tonight for either team. I would like to see some guys maybe see if they can be lightning in a bottle for somebody and get something sparked.
Tavano returns to the mound for the Sandvipers. Buck Burner will lead off here in the top of the 3rd. First one's in there, 53 miles per hour. 0-2 to Burner. Down into the turf, ball 1. Waiting for round number 2. Here it is. Vaders, Snappers, Cajuns, Legends, or Sandvipers most intimidating team as Buck Burner has struck out. There was a time when the second team in that chat would have won this poll going away. However, got some injuries on the Snapper squad right now. Not as scary as they once were. And it looks like it's a back-and-forth battle between the Vaders with old Knuckleball Billy as Jim Dodos shoots one into left center. That's going to roll all the way to the pocket radar sign as the Sandvipers had the 4 infielders set. Tom Gannon, no chance to get it there all the way from right field.
That's a big statement, chat police. I do not know. Anybody that makes the playoffs this season, in my opinion, literally has a chance to win the championship because the top, actually, I'd say that the top 7 teams in the league are all kind of interchangeable. One good weekend, and it's all it takes. And the Snappers, somebody voted 37 times in a row.
I believe you are permitted to spend some bits and or wiffle points to put in extra bets. And I wonder if Shane Weber is at home in that cast, firing them off. Peter Mockabee did strike out for the second out of the inning, brings up Sean Merciel. Tavano showing that he can be effective. 51 miles per hour gets Merciel to swing and miss. 2 strikeouts in a row for Mark Tavano. Retires the side. Keeps it a 1-run ball game.
Well, so this is pressure. Pressure makes diamonds, and Tavano steps up and gives them 2 good innings, keeping the score 1-0 right where it's at, where it's still within striking distance as the home team.
And now it's the Snappers and the Vaders going back and forth in the most intimidating team contest. At this point, Brad, I think it's all about who's going to spend more wiffle points to try to win this poll.
Yeah, I'm just going to say in a dark parking lot, I'm not scared of any Vaders.
Yeah?
A couple of Snappers, but Wilson's a big pushover, so I'm good with that. Do you really want to see a couple of our legends in the parking lot? No, we're not that intimidating.
Oh, yeah, physically intimidating.
Physically intimidating. Now, on the wiffle ball field, we're not that intimidating. We're a bunch of old guys.
Yeah. I think most people are taking it from the latter.
That's
It's more
it.
intimidating on the wiffle ball field.
Oh, well, then that would be the Vaders. They're definitely having a very great start to the season. And Snappers historically are one of the best teams in the league. Like, let's not sell them short. They'll let a couple injuries and a couple of...
Yeah, if I ran into J-Rock in a north side alley, I would run the other direction.
Nah, he'd say, hey, let's go grab a hot cocoa.
If I didn't know him.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's Tavano. Going to foul that one back. He's going to pop this one up. Merciel is going to... Oh, and Buck trying to get after it, unable to gather that ball up before it goes underneath the home dugout. There's a little bit of a discussion down the first baseline about whether or not that ball got out of play. In order for that to be out of play, it has to cross a white line that is drawn on the turf underneath that dugout. And it looks like Buck was able to get to it before he goes out of play, but certainly not enough time for him to make the play.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart. It saves a base. So it's a smart play by Buck to save that base, which is always huge, keeps the double play in order.
Call stands. Looked like there was a little bit of a discussion. Manager Chris Warfield possibly choosing whether or not he was going to pull out that yellow challenge flag. But he's going to go with the call on the field, which is quite obviously that it's only one base, as it favors him. Kenny McDowell looks at ball number 1.
Oh, good pitch by Buck.
1-2. Slider misses high and away. 2-2. Snappers win the poll. 234. I Like Turtles contributed 22,900 points. I mean, he likes turtles. Can't blame him. Swing and foul back into the zone for McDowell. That's the first one.
Best 22,000 points he ever spent. I love it.
Swing and a miss. Buck Burner lets out a let's go as he strikes out McDowell for the first out of the inning. Michael Dean will get out of the way of that one. 1-1. Burner will miss high. 2-1. Down into the dirt. Calibrating. Goes high, goes low.
Next one, strike here.
Next one might be right down the middle, Brad.
Hope so. Michael Dean, notoriously patient hitter.
Burner goes right down the middle, 50 miles per hour. It's that two-seamer that we saw a little bit before. Not quite a screwball, just tails off. And he'll miss outside. Burner has walked Dean. There's 2 on with just 1 out. Looks like Maccabee is going to come out and confer with Jim Dodos and Matt Petricus as they decide who's going to take the mound in relief of Burner.
I'd like to see Mock here. He's got the most innings available. But if you want to go short term, you got Petricus for a short term.
And Kirby's sleeping over on the third base side. Again, I want to point out,
Who's
people in the chat might get mad, this is not Kirby's fault. Kirby is only as good as the people who are controlling him, and I'm going to have a little discussion with Cody and Trench. Seem to be more engrossed in their own discussion and whether or not Kirby is needed at the mound. As we have a sighting on field, Brad.
There's Kirby. And Uncle B showed up. This couldn't be a better time. If he was below the line, he's eligible to pitch.
There's Uncle B coming in with his orange water jug, surely fresh off a pickleball match. He's got his earphones in. He's probably listening to some Fleetwood Mac as he strolls over the Warbirds dugout.
I think it'll be Stevie Nicks. It won't be Fleetwood Mac.
Right.
It'll be Stevie Nicks, though.
Yep. As Kirby vacates. Peter Maccabee on in relief of Buck Burner. There is 1 out, 2 runners on for Dustin Flinty. He's going to reach way out in front and foul that one back.
So Dustin's seen 4 pitches, and he's swung 4 times. So Maccabee's going to notice that. If anybody knows that, it's Mock.
Goes inside, hits Flinty in the back. And Maccabee gets him to swing at one down at his feet. Flinty will strike out. Wonder if you'll see Glenn Meadows come into the game late here, Brad.
I'd see him batting for Fuente. Am I saying that right?
Flinty.
Flinty. Yeah.
Justin Hicks, 2 down, 2 on. 53 miles per hour and hits pan.
No, Tommy, he does not have AirPods. If you knew Uncle B, you would know that it's probably an iPod he's listening on, not his phone.
I'm surprised he didn't come in with that yellow Walkman, the cassette tape inside.
Hey, I used to have one of those. Let's not get crazy. That was the 80s.
Swing and a miss from Hicks. And Maccabee pumped up, gets his team out of the jam, and the Warbirds remain ahead by a single run.
Yeah, so no matter what team you're on, you want to beat the champs. And the champs are getting everybody's best game, and down a man, probably arguably the best player in the league, it's showing.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the Sandvipers came out of the gate red hot. They were 9-3 in their first 12. They looked absolutely unbeatable at certain points in the early goings on. Obviously, they had some setbacks. They entered tonight's contest 12-12. And this game will decide whether they add 2 wins or 2 losses to their record.
Yeah, it would drop them under 500. They lose this game. And I mean, they fought back to get above 500, but when can you say the Sandvipers halfway through the season have been under 500? Never.
Right. James Perez will lead off for the Warbirds. Tavano remains out there on the hill. Sidekick. Yeah, Uncle B's probably got a boom box.
I got one in my garage. Still works.
You can get those for about $10 nowadays.
Cassette tapes. I still got cassette tapes, like from Rush.
They haven't dry rotted?
No, I don't think I've played any of them in about a decade. It's just a radio for sports radio when I'm doing honeydew shit.
Yeah, you hit play on one of those cassette tapes, they might just turn into dust. 50 miles per hour, Perez caught looking. Caught looking for the second time this game, 4th time tonight. Here's Petricus. He's going to shoot this one into left field. Tom Gannon claps his hands. When he does that, what does it mean?
You're out.
Yeah.
He's never not caught the ball when he's clapped his hands. There's been days he hasn't clapped his hands. But if he claps the hands, you're out.
I bring up Buck Burner, 2 outs. He's going to shoot that one through the 5-6 hole. No chance for Flinty. And Burner aboard. 2-out single.
Oh, Sidekick saying the boom boxes, depending on make, are really expensive.
Is that right?
Well, all us old guys got money now.
Because nobody's making them anymore, so it's a supply and demand issue.
There we go. So my man might be worth $15.
Jim Dodos is going to hit this ball extremely hard. Swung and miss. Sometimes I like to try to pick out the exact ball that Dodos is going to crush. I thought that was the one. Fouls that one back. Tivano definitely trying to stay away from Dodos, targeting top right corner.
Don't be surprised. He can just flick it to the right side or left side for him.
Don't miss inside. Misses low, 2-2.
Jim's seeing the ball really well, so he's not going to really swing and miss at pitches in the zone.
Comes way inside, fills the count. Dodos exhibiting good patience there, draws a walk from Tivano.
So there's another walk that's important. Tivano, you still can't go to Tom Gannon yet. They still don't, they're not to the point where they can use him yet because he couldn't finish. He has to get through this inning to let Tom Gannon pitch in the last 2.
Vipers got into this kind of trouble in their last series and had to go deep into the well of relief pitchers in game number 3. Nobody had any innings left. Jamison Steed, very cold after not seeing any action through games number 1 and 2. Had to get up there for game 3.
Can you tell Jesse's downstairs? He's circling the Snappers are the most intimidating team.
I like Turtles contribute another 8,100 channel points so that Snappers won the playoff there over the Ones in round number 3. This Maccabee will draw a walk, and Tivano's done, Brad.
Yeah, so Tivano's done. Gannon cannot get them through the game. I wouldn't use them. With 2 outs, I would go to Dean. I would go to Jamison. I would go to anybody but Tom Gannon. I wouldn't burn a whole inning for 1 out.
Let's see what they decided. It will be Michael Dean. Michael Dean will meet with Kirby Bucket and warm up here.
Smart move, smart managerial move. They're still in this game. It's only 1-0. Bases loaded, and they only need 1 out. If this was the 5th inning or they were up 1-0, I can see them trying to win the game and count on their defense to win the game. But being down 1, they don't want to go to Gannon just yet. They don't want to waste it. But Dean's got to throw a strike here. I guarantee you there's red lights all over the place in the dugout for the Warbirds.
Yeah. I do see manager Chris Warfield. He's been very active, very close to the backstop in situations like this that we saw just a couple of innings ago, giving his batters red light, green light. Good to see him down in the dugout tonight, Brad, not up on top of the container for game number 3.
Yeah, I'm a manager. I like to be hands-on. I like to see what my guys are doing. Not going to play a whole lot this year, but it's part about being a team, and I love it. I love the fact that the Warbirds have come together in this big series for them.
Bases loaded. Sean Merciel facing Michael Dean. Michael Dean misses the first pitch high. Merciel lays off. 2-1.
Yeah.
See if that stop sign is on.
If it's not, it's a bad managerial move.
That one was in there. Wow. A warranted swing from Merciel. It looks like a final poll as Jesse's trying to vote from the OBS screen. You can't vote from OBS. Is it going to be the Snappers or the stream team? And Merciel strikes out. Michael Dean gets the Warbirds out of the jam. They leave the bases loaded.
Yeah, I didn't like the swing, even though it was 47 middle pan. I don't like the swing.
because by not swinging, you've proven that you're going to make him throw you 2 strikes, and that's hard to do. You know this. You've watched Chad stand there and make you throw 2 strikes. How much pressure was that?
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes when you know they're not swinging, they can get into your head a little bit. You know that you've got to hit the pan.
Yeah.
No matter what. You're not going to get them chasing anything. So for rookie pitchers in a tough spot like that, it can be intimidating. But Dean came through and threw a couple right down the middle when he needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Sean going for the big exclamation point. He was trying to end the game there, trying to hit a home run. Good hard swing. Just underneath both of them, they kind of just hung on him a little bit. But now it's about playing defense. You got your better pitcher, Maccabee, to get through this inning, see if they can make it a 2-inning game up 1-0. I like their chances.
Seems the recipe against Sean Merciel seems to be that high 12-6, targeting the top part of the strike zone, making him reach up for it. Does swing underneath it and strike out. Warbirds strand 3. They do remain up 1-0. Maccabee will try to shut things down here in the bottom of the 4th. Gannon will watch that one in there, 54.
And there's that pitch that just kind of stays low the whole way, just like it has to come up, and it just doesn't.
From my perspective, I thought it was going to hit the ground. Big 12-6. Gannon recognized it and goes up after it. That was headed for top pipe.
Yeah, I faced a Mock when he throws top pipe, and there's nothing I could do about it. I just watched it.
Way inside, full count. Two-two. That's going to stay foul. Warbirds give chase. It stays in foul territory. Popped up. Buck Burner calls for it, gathers it in foul territory for out number 1.
Tom Gannon seems to be pressing just a little bit, just missing the ball. I mean, just missing. Maybe 1/8 of an inch between that ball being rocketed and that ball being popped up.
Mark Tavano will step in. Tavano with a base hit, his last at-bat. He'll watch that one tink top pipe, falls behind 0-2.
Look for the big 12-6 from over the head. Watch this. I think he's going to throw it.
Instead, a slider inside. James Perez has to reverse his field. Full extension. Gets the out. Kenny McDowell steps in with 2 out. Gets McDowell to go outside after that one. He'll fall behind 0-2. Gets McDowell to reach way down after that drop ball. And Maccabee retires the side. Warbirds clinging to this 1-0 lead.
Yeah, but now Tom Gannon comes in. And I wouldn't say advantage Vipers, but it's definitely an even money, even down 1. It's an even money play here. Tom Gannon has been lights out all day. It's just, can he keep it at 1-0 and give his team's chance in the last 2 innings?
So Gannon will expend his last 2 remaining innings here in the 5th and the 6th, provided he doesn't walk out. Tom Gannon coming into this series, only 13 base on balls, 75 strikeouts, 206 batters faced. He doesn't throw a lot of.
No.
He doesn't walk a lot of guys.
Doesn't walk a lot, and when he does, it's very early in the game. It's first inning, second inning. He's trying to find something, and it's just not there. And by the time he figures it out, he's already got to walk. And when he has Tannick, and when he had Trench, he had somebody to fall back on. You don't have to do the lollipop over. You can be aggressive, and if you miss, you miss, and you bring in another pitcher.
He'll have to be effective here. Can't afford to leave this game. Sandvipers near the bottom of the well for pitchers in this series. They did get through those middle innings to allow Gannon to come in here in the 5th. Perez tries to shoot one down the first baseline, but it's foul.
Yeah, bullpen for the Sandvipers was huge in this game, getting them to Tom with only down one.
12-6 misses. Finger ball, 51 miles per hour. Does exactly what it's designed to do. Gets the batter to swing out in front of it. Here's Matty Petrikis. Shoots this one foul.
Just a little out front. Still trying to push that ball to the right side. Left his hands behind and just drug his hands a little bit.
Fouled back. Stays 0-2. What do you think of the new hats on the Warbirds, Brad?
I like it. I do.
I think it's a good look. 55 on the nose. All Petrikis can do is head back to the dugout. "12-6 outside pipe, 48 miles per hour.
Buck just shaking his head.
Stays outside, ball one. "12-6 does not hit top pipe. Evens the count. Finger ball. Buck recognizes, pops it up into left field. Justin Hicks makes the play all the way out from short into left. Tom Gannon doing what he does, shutting it down. A 1-2-3 inning, strikeout, fly out. And they'll need to bat here in the bottom of the fifth as their time is running out. But it's only one run, and we know the Vipers can explode offensively at any moment. My name is Greg Kelly, alongside Brad Ogden, offering expert commentary. You are watching Premier League Wiffle. This is game number 3 of a 3-game series between the Warbirds and the Sandvipers. Low-scoring affairs. Game number 1 was won by the Sandvipers 1-0. 5-4, the Warbirds came back in game 2. Warbirds hanging on to a 1-0 lead here in game 3, Brad.
Yeah, offense is at a premium, but it's also been depth of pitching staff at a premium. Both teams have gone through every arm in their bullpen so far, and the depth of the pitching staff on the Warbirds tonight is showing. With a chance to take this series, with not a lot of runs scored, they could get out of here scoring 6 runs in 3 games and get 2 wins. That's not a recipe for a successful season, but it's a good recipe tonight.
Yep. Doing what they have to do to get a couple of wins in the column. Peter Maccabee will return to the hill here in the bottom of the 5th. Michael Dean looking a little silly on that one. 0-2. Going to take a second to collect himself. Steps back in. 12-6 in there, 50 miles per hour. Dean's going to want that entire at-bat back.
Yeah, so Dean hasn't seen a lot of Maccabee. When they were both on the same team at one point, they were both bombers.
Flentai holds up, but that slider slides right back into the zone. "12-6 gets Flentai to swing. Mock being very aggressive with the bottom part of this order.
So that's 4 pitches. That's 4 strikes. He's looking for an immaculate inning. I don't think we've ever had one before.
Yeah, 6 balls.
6 balls, 6 strikes.
6 strikes.
3 strikeouts.
Good luck getting one on Justin Hicks. There's the first one.
Here we go.
It's on the table. It's in play, Brad.
There we go.
Can we conjure it out of the Wiffle universe?
Yes, we can.
No, it's 57.
Oh.
Ball 1.
Wow. That's as close as we've been that I can remember.
Misses high. Goes from immaculate to tidy. Might just be clean now. And now we're looking at, you know, just like average cleanliness. Hicks spoils that.
Yeah, Donka, they can put tape on the, I guess we would call it the handle, little bumpy parts. They can put batting tape on that, and they can put up to 12 inches of tape on the bat.
A walk to Justin Hicks. He'll take a trip down to first. Seen some bats lying around out here at Hideaway Field, Brad. It seemed to be skirting that 12-inch rule.
Yeah, I mean, there's an O in the original, and the guys are covering that up, and it still leaves you about half an inch from the top. It's 12 and a half inches from there, and guys are taking it all the way to the top, so we're kind of...
13.
Yeah.
Gannon pops it up. Merciel pulls it in. A very effective inning for Mockabee and the Warbirds as they cling to this 1-0 lead. They'll try to tack on some insurance here in the top of the sixth.
Again, another big inning there in the fifth where they get through Hicks and they get through Gannon and they don't get any runs. No base runners, no chance for them to come back up if they don't get a couple of hits from that bottom of that order.
Yeah, absolutely huge. And come back in the bottom of the sixth. And they'll have to face Tavano, McDowell, and then Dean and Flinty. But Jim Dodos will walk in. He'll try to add some insurance runs on for the Warbirds. Gannon's last inning of eligibility starts as soon as he throws that first pitch.
Yeah, so if they do go to extras, he cannot finish.
That's right. First pitch low.
Again, it was finished.
Down into the dirt. Right after this at-bat, Brad, I need to get everybody watching on TikTok over here to Twitch. Did he go? 3-1. He held off. That was headed for Pan. 42 mile an hour.
And that was headed for the Garden of Serenity.
Yep.
Just missed it.
Will it go? Deep. Back. No. Kenny McDowell reaches up over the yellow coping and robs Dodos of a solo shot.
That's a big human being out there. He's about 6'3", 6'4". Great play. Great swing. What a great play. Keeping his team in the game.
Bring up Mockabee with one out. "12-6 from Gannon. Misses high. Gets Mockabee to reach out and swing and miss at that one. 1-2. Down and away. 2-2. Mock's going to pop this one up. Justin Hicks will gather it in while standing on second base. 2 outs.
Yeah, so let's... Sean Merciel, I wanted to be aggressive right here. You got nothing to lose. Look for a pitch in the zone and try and drive it. See if you can get a little lightning in the bottle here.
Merciel needs to... Merciel has struck out his last 3 at-bats. "12-6, swing in a miss. Merciel with his 4th strikeout in a row.
Yeah, struggling at the end. Had a couple good at-bats in game 2. Kind of was the spark that got them get them to the win. But now it's about playing defense.
Yep. Warbirds clinging to a 1-0 lead. They will face off against Mark Tavano, Kenny McDowell, and Michael Dean, due up for the Sandvipers. An opportunity to walk it off.
Yeah, Duke, I don't know if they have a closer. I think I would stick with Maccabee. A lot of these guys have never seen him before, and he's at the bottom of their order, where the last 3 of these last 4 guys are all rookies. And Maccabee just throws too much junk that they've never seen before not to have an impact against these rookies. But you still got the All-American. They go to Matt if they have to. Uncle B's in the house. They got their full arsenal.
Yep.
To pitch tonight. So
Warbirds 3 outs away from squeaking out another victory to take Game 3 and the series. Or will the Sandvipers spoil it and walk it off? Tavano out in front of that one, fall behind 0-2. Outside, ball 1. Comes back inside, evens the count. Tavano reaches up, spinner. Maccabee's going to parry it. It went off his nose, back down into the ground, picks it up and gets the out.
well, it hit every part of his body but the glove. But it still equals the same thing. It's an out. Well done.
Did a good job putting that big body in front of the ball, keeping it from advancing past the pitcher's mound. Plenty of time to make the ground out. Here's McDowell. It's a big sweeping curveball that misses away. He's going to shoot that through the 5-6 hole. Perez playing very shallow in left center, nearly missed batting that ball down. But he did in the end make the play.
So that was probably a mistake by Mock. The little slider that hung out over the middle of the plate. He probably wanted to hit inside pipe, and it just hung out a little bit too much.
Tying run on first base, the walk-off stands at the plate in the form of Michael Dean. Just one out.
That's a good idea. Put a cam on them so you can see the actual movement of the pitches.
Put it where?
Right on top of the tin on the foam.
Yeah.
Little.
We've experimented with that, and it's a possibility. I'll tell you the next idea. In order to protect that camera, keep it from being hit by bats, which is one of the things, I'm sure you've seen plenty of guys hit the strike zone with their bat. It's such a big moment. I'll talk about it later. Swing and a miss from Michael Dean. Maccabee gets it, and they are 1 out away from winning Game 3 and the series.
Yeah, that'd be. And they got to force out at second base, so they don't have to make a throw here if they don't need. If they don't need to, they can make an easy throw to second base if it's up the middle.
Flintai is going to fly this one up. Merciel in front of it, doesn't get to it in time. Just over the 5-second mark. Another high, spinning, infield pop-up. Unable to get it in time. And the wiffle gods are angry gods. That brings up Justin Hicks with 2 on. A base hit ties the game. A double walks it off.
I almost thought if he didn't touch it, if he lets it go, it's a foul ball.
Did it bounce in the infield?
It bounced in the infield, but it wouldn't have stayed fair. It would have rolled all the way back.
Probably would have. Wow. Hard to make that kind of calculation mid-air when you know it's the third out of the game. You just want to catch it.
Yep.
Don't take any chances. Unfortunately, that ball was spinning quite a bit. Bounced right off the palms of Merciel. And Justin Hicks with a chance. 54, but inside.
Mock with a walk to work with. I don't think he's going to have to give in to Hicks here. I don't know if he wants to face Gannon again, though.
Yeah, Tom Gannon right behind him. High. 3-1 to Hicks. A cookie here would be bad news.
I don't think there's a cookie coming. I think he's got a walk to work with and start again fresh.
Indeed, he does. And Hicks will advance to first base. And Maccabee appears to be leaving the mound.
Yeah, so going lefty on lefty.
Yep.
Dodos has multiple pitches here, and he's ready to rock. He ran in.
He put the balls back in Kirby buckets so Kirby could bring them to him. Dodos, member of the stream team, he knows how much Kirby means to this production. Not going to rob him of his opportunity.
Exactly. He comes running in like Bobby Thigpen. When Bobby Thigpen used to play right field, and come running in for the White Sox. Yeah, so he came running in. He wants the ball here. Nobody wants the ball more right here than Jim Dodos. So I look for him to go right after Tom.
The bases are loaded. The tying run stands on third. The winning run on second base. Warbirds hoping to hold on by the slimmest of margins. For those of you who are watching on TikTok right now, you have very little time to get over to Twitch to watch the conclusion of this series. The link is right there on the field. It's also in our bio, twitch.tv/Premier Wiffle. Multi-camera angle production. Live over on Twitch. When you come on over here, let us know in the chat that you came from TikTok. Jim Dodos on in relief of Peter Maccabee. I'll go with the left-hander versus the left-handed batting Tom Gannon. Bases are loaded. Gannon watched that one in hot. 58 is ball one. Not a whole lot of chatter. Pretty quiet. High for ball two. Can't walk him in, Brad.
No, doesn't want to do that.
Tom Gannon will slap that into left field over the outstretched hands of James Perez. It's a 2-run double and a walk-off for the Sandvipers. Did it hit his... It doesn't matter even if it hit his hand. It's 2 runs. The Vipers win it 2-1, take game number 3 in walk-off fashion and win the series. We're going to get a poll up in the chat to see who you're going to interview at the end of this game, Brad. We'll give about 1 minute. Tom Gannon with the walk-off, the 9-inning performance. I think he's probably going to be at the top of that list.
More than likely, yeah. I mean, it was a great series. Warbirds, again, had their opportunities. Just a couple of misplays. I mean, we talk about the wiffle gods, but it's the extra outs. You can't give up extra outs in this league. There's just not enough. The 18th out is really hard.
Yeah, the final out of that game obviously was popped up into the infield. It popped off the hands of Sean Merciel. He's going to look for a dark hole to crawl into. Game would have been over, but instead, Hicks comes up. He draws the walk. They bring in Jim Dodos, and Tom Gannon walks it off with a laser beam off the hands of James Perez into the container, clearing the bases and winning the game for the Sandvipers. We've got the post-game interview poll up. Tom Gannon, Justin Hicks, Mark Tavano, Kenny McDowell, or Michael Dean, early front-runner in that poll. No surprise. Tom Gannon, 9 innings pitched, very effective tonight. And the walk-off game winner.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the biggest part of that game was the bullpen getting to Tom so he could shut it down, because there was a lot of traffic in those middle innings, and those guys got just the amount of outs to get Tom in the game and give him a chance to, I'm going to say, steal that win. I mean, it was... Vipers had no reason to win that game.
I'm going to go gather Tom Gannon and bring him up to the booth. He's on his way. He saw me motioning to him. I'll give way for Tom, who will come on up for the post-game interview. Everybody stick around. Come on in, Tom.
How's it going? Click on Slack downstairs in case we got any notes from there, but whew.
Yeah, well.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great series. 1-run games all the way throughout. Warbirds kind of got a little bit going in that second game, and then a walkout. The bullpen has to come, and you only got 2 innings left. And
Michael Dean really clutched it. I mean, he only needed to get, 1 out?
Yeah.
But that was probably the biggest out of the whole series.
Yeah, I mean, he needed to get 1 out. I saw you thinking about it, and we're talking in the booth going, you
you can't use a whole inning for one out, Tom.
Yeah.
You have to get somebody.
And we
to
did
get
that. We did that last week, and we got burned by it at the end.
Yeah, so we learned from the things there. Talk about Kenny McDowell. Talk about these rookies that are stepping up and keeping you guys, I won't say afloat, but you guys are still in the playoff hunt. It's only
they're starting to really figure it out at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, it's Michael
Kenny
Dean.
hitting the ball hard, especially that last hit to get us started in the final inning. He pitched great. Hicks pitched pretty well. Got through a few innings. Tavano threw a couple innings that were vital to that series win. So, all the rookies really stepping up, and then Hicks not really a rookie, but a rookie to pitching, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we had the great robbery of the home run in right by McDowell. That's a big human being making that play.
Yeah.
And just
that catch was huge. I mean, I think that ball was definitely going over the fence.
Yeah.
Huge momentum swing getting that out versus, Dodos rounding the bases. So
yeah, so you guys battle again, get 2 out of 3, stay above 500, stay in the top half of the table. At some point, the Tannic man himself is going to come back, but you guys have got to find a way to either find another pitcher or find a little bit more offense because it's not getting easier. The weather's getting warmer.
And I think Tavano might be finding that role. I mean, I was impressed with how he pitched tonight. And I like Turtles in the chat. My thoughts on the Snappers being voted best team. People vote a lot of things. It's most intimidating team.
Yeah, I like Turtles usually like 30,000 points to win that.
I don't like to think about the polls and the media. I just want to let my game do the talking.
Yeah, but again, another great series. You guys finding another way to get 2 out of 3, winning a series. We always talk about that. If you don't get swept and you don't lose a couple of series, you're going to be in the playoffs. Great series tonight, Tom. It was a pleasure to call it. I'm glad I could be here with the man GK, and we'll see you here tomorrow night, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it felt like we really stole that game 3. So that's the type of game you look back on at the end of the season. That was a huge win for us.
Oh, absolutely, because one game separates
Yep.
playoffs and relegation. So way to go. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
And Tom, you're right, Anthony. I don't think Tom still hasn't lost a game as a pitcher. He steals that one, goes 2-0 tonight, 9 innings pitched, no earned runs from Tom, and gets the game-winning hit.
Yep. Great job for the Sandvipers, taking 2 of 3 tonight. And as you said, getting them above 500, back to the top half of the table. Let's go ahead and see what we have on the slate for tomorrow night. It's going to be the Ones versus the Legends right back here tomorrow night, 6 p.m. from Hideaway Field here in Las Vegas. I want to thank you, Brad. I want to thank everybody in the chat and the entire stream team for the production tonight. Looks like we've got Gio Battistoni up there on Skycam. Cody Runnels, Jonathan Wilson, Kyle Lohman, the umpiring crew down below. We've got Nick DeVella and Jesse Caps, RTD. On behalf of Brad Ogden, I'm Greg Kelly. Thank you for watching PLW, and good night.
See you tomorrow.